Peace, family. I hope all is well. I hope your Hope your afternoon is going well. Make sure, do me a favor. Make sure you hit that like button. Again, please hit that like button as you go into the chat room. Please hit that like button as you enter into the chat room. Also, make sure you share. Make sure you subscribe. All that good stuff. Also, make sure you visit Donfo, Danfo, Donfo, Danfo dot Africa. Again, please visit Donfo, Danfo dot Africa and join us on one of our awesome tours. We are headed to Nigeria in about 45 days. About 40 days. 40 days we are headed to Nigeria. I'm excited. I'm pumped. I cannot wait to be 10 toes down in Niger. Also, Sierra Leone, November 20th through December 3rd, November 20th through December 3rd, November 20th through December 3rd. We will be in Sierra Leone. Citizenship is available to those who qualify. Again, citizenship is available to those who qualify. So, how do you qualify? For the most part, guys, um, as long as you have your DNA results. Again, as long as you have your DNA results, which link you to Sierra Leone from African ancestry. Sorry about that. I was reading something. As long as you have your DNA results from African ancestry, which link you back to Sierra Leone, again, which link you back to Sierra Leone, you are eligible for citizenship. And again, results have to come from African ancestry, not 23andMe, not ancestry.com, not these other sites. For the most part, it got to come from African ancestry. So get your African ancestry results. They link back to Sierra Leone. You are eligible for citizenship. Again, you are eligible for citizenship and go to Don Photo Africa to learn more about the tours. Guys, we were having a discussion on Go Back to Africa's page a couple nights ago, and we were discussing the McDonald's mom, the McDonald's mother, who for some reason, she don't get paid her food stamp. She's out of food stamp money, but she has enough money for her yaki, which is odd. She doesn't have enough money to feed her kids, but she has enough money for her yaki and to get her eyebrows and lashes and all that done. Which is very, very odd. So she was upset that one of the father of one of the children brought his son some food, but didn't bring food for the other kids. Well, she wasn't wrong. His responsibility is for his kid. The other kids have fathers. That was a whole fake skit. It probably was, but dang, was it a fake skit? Okay, well, if it was, is whatever. But anyways, so we were discussing that, and you had a lot of people, FBA, ADOS, saying that Dusty behavior, not even that, but pretty much Dusty behavior is the white man's fault, is slavery's fault, is because of slavery and the white man. And so we continue to excuse Dusty behavior. We continue to excuse this black on black death that's going on here, especially in Atlanta, that they don't want to talk about, that these politicians don't want to talk about. We continue to excuse that and make the excuses, well, because of the white man. It's the white man's fault. The white man, makes us kill each other. The white man made that woman act out like that. It's a result from slavery. It's the white man's fault. And I'm just like, look, in 2022, in 2022, to why are we still blaming the white man for conscious decisions that we make, conscious, dusty decisions that we make? Nah, McDonald's mom was a window into a normalized dysfunction. I agree. And so basically, people are saying that this normalized dysfunction here in America that Black people practice is the white man's fault and is a condition from slavery. And I just asked one question, or I'm stated like I pretty much told the lady that was making those excuses. I told her, if you look at the marriage rate, if you look at ownership amongst Black people, we were doing better off after slavery all the way up to integration. All this stuff, all this dysfunction started happening once integration, we decided to integrate. So is it really slavery's fault and the white man's fault? Because we were doing much better as a whole. We were doing much better as a community after slavery all the way up to integration versus now. So is slavery the problem or was it integration? And of course, she didn't have a response for me. But this is the reality. Let's start off with the crack era. Let's start off with the crack era. Okay, the white man, CIA, put crack into our communities. So I guess, they could sponsor their contras or whatever. Okay, I'll let you have that. But did the white man force Black folks to take that powder and cook up crack? Or was that a choice? Again, when the white man put dope in our Black communities, okay, I'm gonna give you the benefit of the doubt. The white man put dope in our communities. Okay, whatever. Did the white man force Black men and Black women to take that dope and cook it up? Or was that a choice? The other one, the other conspiracy theory I hear, the white man in Chicago just leaves crates of guns in alleyways. Okay, I'll give you the benefit of the doubt. The white man gets crates of guns and he puts them in alleyways in Chicago. But did the white man force Black men to pick up them guns, load them guns up, go do drive-bys on the ops, go shoot up the ops, go kill the ops, go kill innocent children who might be related to the ops? Did the white man force the Black man to do that? Why did you pick up them choppers and go shoot down other Black people? Did the white man force you to pick up the choppers and start killing the ops? So we have to stop with this excuse of slavery and the white man in 2022. I'm sorry. I know I'm going to upset you guys, but it's just, yeah, were white men in those cars doing the drive-bys? Hold on, let me show you something. Hold on, let me pull this up. Let me pull this up real quick. Hold on. Here we go. Hold on one second. Let me pull this up. Let me pull this up real quick, guys. Give me a second. I wish I had the actual footage of when they started running to the cars with the choppers to go kill this guy. Hold on. Here we go. Guys, do me a favor. Hit that like button again. Please hit that like button. Please hit that like button. Hold on one second. Guys, there's a specific video that I want to find. And I'm like, listen, the white man did not force you to do this. Hold on, we're just going to pull this up. Guys, give me a second. Give me a second. It's our inability to resist evil. You think that's what it is? Oh, they got problems in Nigeria as well. They do. They got problems in Nigeria. Yeah, no one's denying that. No one's denying that. They got problems in Nigeria. Absolutely. No one's denying that. Does that make you feel better? Does that make you feel better that they're having problems in Nigeria? Does that make you feel better? You want to be coddled. They have problems in Nigeria. Do you feel better now?
Edwards, right to breaking news. A major development in the murder of a Chicago rapper gunned down in the middle of the day in the Gold Coast.
CBS 2's Stephen Graves is live at FBI headquarters with this big break in the investigation. Stephen.
Brad, Erica, that break coming with multiple arrests of gang members. Those who were involved in what the feds say were multiple crimes throughout the city, explaining that murder in broad daylight, they say, was done for a reason. The barrage of gunshots caught on video is hard to forget. The shooting, police believe, was committed by 4 people who jumped out of 2 cars on a busy Gold Coast street, traumatized shoppers, and killed Chicago rapper FBG Duck in August of last year.
Thank you, and thank you all for being here.
Now, more than a year later, Chicago police, the FBI, and federal prosecutors announcing charges all against 5 men who they say are all members of the O Block street gang.
That these 5 individuals,
the majority of them picked up Wednesday morning near 63rd and King on Chicago's South Side.
The indictment also charges
federal prosecutors getting involved because they say the group is responsible for an elaborate string of crimes connected to the shooting. Some involved drug trafficking and violent crimes to protect other members. The murder of rapper FBG Duck, also known as Carlton Weekly, was believed by law enforcement to be one of the acts that helped with, quote, maintaining and increasing positions in O Block. Prosecutors also used social media and music videos to build a case. They say the men used both to publicly claim acts of violence, taunt rival gangs, and again, improve ranking and status. Chicago police and the feds today saying they hope this speaks to the public and those hoping to commit similar criminal acts.
We are serious about our collaboration.
New details in the deadly shooting at an Atlanta.
So did the white man force those people to slide on FBD Duck in broad daylight in Chicago? I'm saying, did the white man, or was it an effect on slavery? Is it slavery that forced these guys to slide on somebody, on the ops, in broad daylight in Chicago? Is it the white man's fault? Again, is it the white man's fault? And guys, remember the subway shooting, the no mayo, not enough mayo, the shooting, the subway shooting here in Atlanta? Subway, the restaurant, not actual Subway, but Subway, the restaurant. But Alonzo, see, this is the problem. See, and this is another issue. Whenever it comes to Black America and its dysfunction, we always want to point the finger at other people. No other people do this. If in Nigeria, we got problems in Nigeria, but we're not saying, oh, well, look at the problems in Cameroon. Look at the problems in Somalia. You know, Black America is the only community that when we call out the dysfunction in our community, we want to start pointing to other groups. Well, look at the white folks. They kill each other too. I mean, look at those Nigerians. Like, we never want to address, call out, and hold accountable those who are partaking in dysfunction in our own communities. I'm just saying, it doesn't make sense. We always got excuses. But guys, this is so they found a guy that was involved that actually killed the ladies um at the Subway restaurant here in Atlanta, because I guess they put too much mayonnaise on his sandwich. Hold on.
Atlanta Subway restaurant. We have just obtained warrants naming the suspect in the shooting that allegedly happened after an argument over too much mayonnaise on a sandwich. Now, according to the warrants, police arrested 36-year-old Melvin Williams of Atlanta shortly after the shooting. He appeared before a Fulton County judge Monday and was denied bond. Williams is accused of fatally shooting 26-year-old Brittany Macon and seriously wounding 24-year-old Jada Statham. Statham's 5-year-old son was also inside the restaurant at the time of the shooting, but was not injured.
So was that the white man's fault that this black man slid on 2 black women over mayo on his sandwich? Is it the white man's fault? Should we blame slavery? Is this an effect of slavery? Again, is this an effect on slavery and white people? And I told you I was a full argument. Yeah, but is it the white man's fault? That's my question. Should we blame the white man and white supremacy and slavery? Is that a good enough excuse to make you guys feel better? Guys, links in the chat room. Link is in the chat room if you want to call in. Links in the chat room. Again, link is in the chat room if you'd like to call in. Link is in the chat room. Also, do me a favor. Let me pull it up right now. Guys, make sure you visit. Let's see here. Make sure you go to amirdynast.com, amirdynast.com. You guys keep asking, Dynast, where do you get your gear from? Guys, where do you get your gear from? Here we go. Violence and murder happens everywhere, no matter where you are. I don't understand the point you're trying to. No. See, here we go. That's the point I'm trying to make right there, Richard Pike. That's the point I'm trying to. He proves my point. Delina, it's the site for the documentary is almost done. It's gonna be delayed. It'll drop probably this weekend. Like, I'm literally working on it right now. It's probably dropping this weekend. If not, it's gonna drop early next week. But I mean, it's coming, Delina. It's coming. We're almost done. We're almost done. It's just we're doing like a separate site, and my guy literally just texted me about it just now. So it's almost done, Delina. It's almost done. It's almost done. It's almost done. Yeah. So guys, links in the chat room. Link is in the chat room. Oh, I have not put the link in the chat room. Let me put the link in the chat room. Link is in the chat room. Link is in the chat room. If you'd like to call in, you are more than welcome to call in and add to the conversation. We'll be nice. I promise we'll be nice. We enjoy differing, opinions. Again, we enjoy differing opinions. So we might not agree on everything, but we'll be nice. But listen, people are always asking, Dynast, where do you get your gear from? Where do you get your shirts from? Where do you buy it from? Guys, visit ileamir.com, ILEAMIR, ileamir.com, and grab all your gear, all your shirts. I got on the Africa is my everything shirt, and is available at ileamir.com. Again, guys, make sure you visit ileamir.com to grab all of your gear. And do me another favor, please hit that like button again. Please hit that like button. Everyone, please hit that like button. But link is in the chat room. If you'd like to call in after the conversation, if you say, hey, Dynast, this is an effect of slavery and is the white man's fault. Hey, call in and let's let's have a conversation about it. I'd like to hear your point of view. All right, guys, listen. Don't be afraid to hit the super chat button. Again, don't be afraid to hit the super chat button. And again, one more time, the actual guys, the site will be up, should be up this weekend, where you guys can go order the documentary. So let's bring on Alonzo Hall.
What's going on, Dynast? How are you?
I'm good, Alonzo. How you doing, brother?
I'm doing well. Thanks for bringing me up. So, to
Okay.
bring clarity, what I was speaking about in context was, things like Chicago. 100 years ago, just 100 years ago, we had gangland Chicago. So a lot of what some of this violence come from, and this makes your point, and I don't blame the white man, so I understand what you're saying, but it does make your point of violence is everywhere, but it is proximity. And a lot of what leads to that is the lack of opportunity or the perceived lack of opportunity. You and I are both in life insurance. We know that, hey, if somebody would just simply get a $250,000 policy, regardless of what happened when someone dies, we wouldn't have to have a Black Lives Matter rally. But, just in context, like I said, 100 years ago, we had gangland guys running around in Chicago with Tommy guns shooting up the place the same way.
Okay, yeah. I mean, I agree that happened. But it's just at the end of the day, what does Black America have to show for its gang violence?
Nothing.
Now you mentioned, you said that you're a victim of gang violence, or what happened, Alonzo?
So in 2008, 3 days before Mother's Day, I got shot 5 times in front of my mother.
Wow, what did they find the shooter? Or man, I'm happy you're, bro. I'm happy you're just here on the, I'm just happy you're here. What I mean, not to be too nosy, I don't know if you want to relive what happened, but I got questions like what happened, if you don't mind. If you don't mind.
Well, I was a different, obviously, type of a person than I am today. But I was very entrepreneurial then. And I was living in Winston-Salem, North Carolina, and actually working at a fast food restaurant. And I had my own business on the side, if you will. And the neighborhood that I lived in, the gentlemen were affiliated with one gang, and I was affiliated with another gang. And I wasn't from that area. I'm from the Northeast. So living down south in North Carolina, there's already that issue. One thing led to another. I said some things, they said some things. And then one night, while I was just outside kind of enjoying myself, they came up with guns and robbed me. And in the middle of robbing me, they saw my weapon. So they decided to start firing.
Did they find the people that did it?
Depends on who they is, but no, they I'm not sure where they are.
Okay, I got you. It's street code. I know you can't really divulge into. Okay, got you. No problem. We'll leave it alone. Okay. Yeah. Well, I'm glad you're still here, brother. I'm glad you're still here. So are you living in Chicago now, or where are you at currently?
No, I'm currently in Connecticut.
Okay. Okay. Well, brother, I'm just happy you. I'm just happy you're still here, man. Yeah, I'm just happy you're still here.
Thank you. I
Man,
I mean,
I could imagine.
I was in the middle of lunch, so I'm eating a
Okay,
sandwich,
man, no
so I didn't want to have the camera on.
Yeah, no
And my
problem.
little Morgan Stanley shirt. These are the things that we need to do that can have us there. But yeah, I didn't want to seem, crazy or controversial in the chat. But I did want to give that context. And I'm always one for, looking at a multitude of angles. Like I said, being a victim of gun violence myself, and being a person who's in the insurance world and seeing the struggle that I have with Black Americans, calling things like life insurance that little life insurance, not knowing that you can go from 0 to 100 real quick for pennies on the dollar. But I have a whole bunch of friends who have a Gucci belt and will spend $1,000 a month on crypto. Not saying anything is wrong with crypto, but just saying.
Got you.
Thank you, Dynast. I'm gonna go back to eating my sandwich and watching you from the clouds.
No problem, brother. I appreciate it, man. Thank you for joining, Alonzo. All right, Trey. Go ahead, Trey. Go ahead, Trey.
Yeah, what's up, Doug, man? Thank you for having me on, man. But yeah, I wouldn't say we should ever excuse the violence in our community, but I guess if we look at it from like a realistic mental health standpoint, research on youth violence has increased our understanding of factors that make some populations more vulnerable to victimization and perpetration. And many risk factors for youth violence are linked to experiencing toxic stress or stress that is prolonged and repeated. So toxic stress can negatively change the brain development of children and youth. So the main risk factors listed are history of violent victimization, which, you know, if you know Foundation Black Americans, we have an undeniable history of that was engineered. High emotional distress. I mean, this is just mental health research. High emotional distress, low parental income, diminished economic opportunities, high concentrations of poor residents, and high levels of transiency. So when you think about that from the perspective of like what happened to us as a people, it's understandable that we're going to have a small percentage of our males that react like that.
What does that got to do with slavery?
That's because they call it, that's engineered.
Trey, let me ask you this. They weren't acting out like this before integration.
Yeah, and then also we were able to sustain ourselves, but that was before they destroyed our economy. We had our money used to circulate on average 21 times in some of our thriving societies. And like I told you before, at the turn of the century, Black farmers were more profitable per acre than white farmers. So when we were able to do all that stuff and they destroyed that, and you think about doing that to a same specific lineage of people multiple times over decades, it makes sense whenever there's an element of hopelessness and transiency. And then it leads, like they say, like the Irish were committing crimes, the Jews were the high violent group, the Italians were the high violent group, but that was when they were poor and going through the same thing, but without the racism. And then whenever they got, granted whiteness and all those, because white supremacy has been the biggest socialism system in the past 400 years, you see they got to come out of that and their crime dropped. But ours, we've been perpetual victims of it. And whenever we were outperforming them and our crime rates were low, they came and engineered our poverty.
Trey, let me correct you. Perpetual victimhood. But go ahead.
Wait, are you saying chattel slavery, Reconstruction, Great Land Robbery?
Trey, our youth wasn't killing each other on the level that they are now back during chattel slavery and Reconstruction.
And I told you why.
But the black
community, you think we had our Black Wall Streets, that we'd be doing that?
The black community chose integration. See, Black Wall Street in Tulsa, Oklahoma, wasn't. It was Tulsa, right? It was Tulsa.
Yeah, you're right.
Right, wasn't the only Black Wall Street. And
I know that's why I said Wall Streets.
Wall Streets, right? But again, like I say all the time, for some reason we thought that Karen's unseasoned chicken tasted better than Miss LaShonda's seasoned chicken in our community. I mean, it's what it is.
You just asked why. Some explanations for the violence. And I'm saying when you look at when we had our stuff going before we were economically terrorized and they engineered poverty into our communities, we weren't doing this. So I'm not going to just make excuses, but I mean the risk factors.
But we chose to integrate into. We chose to integrate, Trey. That was a choice.
It was a choice after. It's if you think about Stockholm syndrome, it was a choice for that one generation you're speaking about, that they were the victims of what I'm talking about happened decades before. So I mean, when you have the military giving sanctioned terrorism and donating weapons to white mobs to destroy your economic bases and run highways through your communities and take eminent domain, take your land, take 20 million acres of farmland where we were able to sustain ourselves. That's a trauma that is extreme. And then when you look at the risk factors across all demographics, they list, and we've been hit by those ×8 in every single risk factor. So for a small sector of our children who are still facing white supremacy in the classroom, in the community, from the police, it makes sense that we're going to have a very small sector Because truth be told, it is a small sector of a subset of a demographic that is committing these type of crimes. And it's true. And like the guy who just called in before, he said he was getting robbed. So even then, that's rooted in economic deprivation.
But we still were economically deprived before integration.
You know what I'm saying? When you add hopelessness to it, when you can self-sustain yourselves and money circulating 21 times, and you had farmland of 20 million acres, that's totally different. Like we have these kids have nowhere to look to for any type of like self-sustenance and all that, just generally speaking, as far as the small percent that are doing that. When you think about like just mental health from that perspective, these risk factors are true for everybody. And we've been hit by them times a million. And it's amazing that like it's such a small subset of our demo that does it.
Right. So Trey, after you just gave all these reasons, why does ADOS FBA want to be just linked and tethered to this land so bad?
Because it's our homeland and we fought here forever. We lived here forever. We're literally connected on one side for thousands of years. And then the Africans that came here, they were stripped of their African identity and everything, that side of our ancestry. And then we were completely detribalized, reclassified, and we created a whole new amalgamation and a unique ethnic population over years here. So it's like, you talk about 500 years, it's like, that makes sense. Like that's what Freddie Douglass was saying. He was like, it'd be a waste of time. When they were trying to get Black people to go to life, they were like, nobody was on that. It was like, why would we build up this table that everybody comes and extracts from and benefits from materialistically, and then we not try to get some of that too on our homeland?
You know, I think honestly, Trey, like for FBA ADOS, if I were you guys, well, I am FBA ADOS.
Yeah, right.
By definition, I am. It doesn't have to be Africa. It doesn't have to be Africa. I would seek opportunities and connections outside of America and not just put all your eggs in this one basket of America. Because I mean, the amount of doom and gloom, you know, we being gentrified out the community, we can't own nothing, we need just reparations. I would have 1 foot in, 1 foot out. That's just me personally.
I understand. Like, I'm not going to disagree with anybody else's opinion, you know, as far as that, just my personal opinion. I'm just from the sense of like, we should try to benefit as much as we can here. Because like I always say, we still develop the highest quality of life of any Black ethnic group. So when we hear about like for Africa to be as rich as it is, and as, you know, all the resources and everything, it's like, if that's so true and they don't have white supremacy over there and there's no red tape, it would make no logical sense for those people to be fleeing over here. If what they're saying is true.
I didn't just say Africa. I said anywhere.
I'm saying anywhere. Like, we're the ones who are living at the highest quality of life of any Black ethnic group. So when we look at other places, like, why would we go there?
That's not necessarily true, Trey.
I'm saying by the standards that we consider true.
Trey, have you been to Skid Row in Los Angeles?
I'm just saying, generally speaking.
Trey, have you been to Skid Row in Los Angeles?
I've seen this. It's horrible. You can point out the worst in every place. You can point out the worst in every place.
I have not seen anything worse than Skid Row.
Okay, that's your opinion. I've seen people eating people in the Congo, like, and floating slums in Nigeria.
Hey, Simplice, go ahead, Simplice.
Man, first things first, man. Can't wait for your documentary to come out. You know what I'm saying? We got to make sure that we support our people, support what they doing, support people that's entrepreneurs. You get what I'm saying? We got to stop bigging up people when they get a job and looking out for the people and spread the word the same way y'all spread the word about the white man's job. It's the same way you need to spread the word about a Black man's business. You get what I'm saying? You know, and even if you don't have the money to support, you know, word of mouth. You know, we always like to say that, you know, good news travels slow, but bad news travels fast. And you know, so that's just a wrong mentality to have. You know, if you can run your mouth and spread the word when something bad happened, you can do that the same way with something good. So shout out to your tours, you're doing, and shout out to tours that you're doing next year. So let's get to this topic, man, because you know, when I hear brothers like TH speak, and you know, the thing about it, when I was out there doing my crimes and fucking up the neighborhood, I wish that I would have had somebody like him to sit up there and make excuses for all our degenerate behavior that we was doing. Knowing that we made every decision to terrorize our neighborhood, Like, we made every decision to beat crackheads up. We made every decision to rob people. It was no economic depression. We just robbed people because we just robbed each other because we didn't like each other. You know what I'm saying? Most of the robbery that goes on in the hood is people that got money. You know, they used to have a thing in the hood where they say the robbers wouldn't rob the robbers, but now it just ain't no honor amongst thieves. So I wish that we would have had somebody like him, and you know what I'm saying, when I went to court, but that type of person don't show up because no type of way that a judge, a jury would listen to none of this stuff. So even though it sounds good, and it does, you know what I'm saying? It does. It's a lot of fluff. But the reason why with that type of mentality would not work in a court of law would be the same way that type of mentality would not work and you try to get reparations out of somebody. You cannot shame nobody into giving you money. You cannot shame nobody, especially a group of people that is white supremacy, to feel sorry for black people. You get what I'm saying? If you own some woe is me and we so down and out, why would they give you some money to put you back on your feet? You know what I'm saying? When you got somebody down, you know what I'm saying? You do them like the white person did, that white boy did, George Floyd. You put their foot on their neck. You get what I'm saying?
First thing I said though was I'm not excusing it, but I understand it. I said I'm not excusing it, but I understand it.
Nobody interrupted you when you was talking. Like, what is wrong with y'all? Like, was you born indoors or outdoors? You get what I'm saying? Because I promise you, as general as I am, when you start talking don't
lie about what I said.
I would not interrupt about what I said. So you sit up there talking when I'm talking and just showing how feminine you is. It's just showing how feminine you is, because I would never. I don't care. I don't care if I don't like what you are saying. I still won't interrupt and talk at the same time, because that's what females do. Bro, that's what females do when you. That's what females do when you get in an argument with them. Nobody, there's no way that anybody can listen to the other person while each one of them is talking. It is no way. So whatever you saying, you might be making a valid point, but because I'm talking at the same time, I don't hear you. So as smart as you try to make yourself look,
I'm just saying, don't lie. Don't come on here lying.
I tell you what, as smart as you think you are, won't you use that logic that neither one of us can hear each other if both of us is talking at the same time? Won't you use that logic? That makes more. That would make more sense than anything came out your mouth. Now let me continue what I was saying. This brother was sitting there talking about, in one sentence, he's sitting there talking about that we got the highest level of black people, living conditions. Then the next breath, he sit up there and say, "Oh, we traumatized and we doing this." You know, they're traumatized. We got all this. What's wrong with you, boy? Like seriously, what is wrong? You can rebut what I'm saying. If
we can be struggling and still be the most chance to do it.
It'll be the same way. I tell you what, you see how you like it when you start spewing that fuck nigga, weak nigga babble, and I start talking when you talking.
Bro.
You get what I'm saying? Like you sit up there
and you're making no sense right now. You're making no sense.
It doesn't matter if I'm not making any sense. The point is you're so soft as a man that you think that sometimes talking while I'm talking that anybody can hear you. Like, that's the funny part. Even if people don't agree with me, they damn sure ain't gonna agree with you. I sit up there talking while I'm talking. How do you think any type of way? Like, listen, you just talking. Hey, nobody can hear you. I don't hear you. Diners don't hear you. Nobody in the audience don't hear you. So you just talking for no reason. Just like a female. Just like I say all the time. Like I say all the time. Like the FBA, ADOS niggas, they act just like the hoes that raised them. You know what I'm saying? They argumentative. You know what I'm saying? They disrespectful, and then they just interrupt like Like what he's saying is more important than what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying?
No, I'm just saying, don't come on here lying.
You act just like that female that was on the show the other night that just kept on talking and nobody went listening to her. Nobody went paying no attention to her because she just kept talking every time somebody else talking. But when she had the chance to talk, nobody interrupted you. When you were sitting up there talking, Dinus didn't interrupt you at all, even though he didn't agree with, even though Dinus didn't agree with nothing that you were saying. He still didn't interrupt you. So you ain't got to like what I'm saying. All you gotta do is just sit up there and wait your turn. And you start talking, I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna do this. I promise you. I don't do it. But just to prove a point, when you start talking, then that's when I'm gonna start talking. Go ahead. Matter of fact, let me be quiet. Let me let you talk. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead. Talk. Yeah, I went to the store the other day, and then I saw the wholesale foods, and they were selling peas and carrots.
Are you married?
And then when I went to the store, they were sitting up there selling lottery tickets $2 for $1. So I didn't want to buy the lottery tickets. So then when I went in there and got the T-Mobile account, the T-Mobile was like, hey, you want the blue phone or the red phone? I was like, no, I don't want the red phone because I don't need a red phone. I'd rather have a green phone. You know what I'm saying? What's the service plan? Nah, you see how stupid that sounds? You see how stupid that sounds for us to talk at the same time? That's the problem with black people. And 1 minute you sit up there caping for the degenerate behavior and want to blame it on somebody. And then when he turn around and ask you a question about why you want to stay here, you want to sit up here and talk about this is our home. That's the equivalent. That's the equivalent of a female staying in the neighborhood, and people keep breaking in her house and sexual assaulting her, and they ask her, well, ma'am, if all this stuff is happening to you, you stay in this neighborhood, ain't nobody looking out for you. Ain't nobody looking out for you. Everybody is attacking you. And look at why you won't move out this neighborhood. And she sit up there and say some stupid shit like, well, I've been staying here all my life. When it's all type of different area codes, counties, cities, states, countries, Providence, anywhere she can go live at. But she's gonna sit up there and stay up under oppression and then find statistics to back up her oppression, but she still don't want to go nowhere. I mean,
where are black people not oppressed?
Where are black people not oppressed? Channel, man. You sound like one of the Lifetime channel episodes of complaining about the same people that you working for. You sit up there complaining about the people that got their things in your ass, but you don't want to go nowhere. So you just lay down and boo like a chick.
Okay. Let's do this. Let me bring on board.
You notice he can't answer where black people aren't oppressed.
I didn't hear that you said, lame.
Oh God, here you go. Yeah, there we go. That's typical. Born. Whoa. Go ahead yourself.
Hey, you guys. Hey, Dinus. So I've been watching your channel for a while, and I really appreciate like the topics that you've been bringing up, especially this one. So first thing is, I'm not going to say either gentleman is wrong. So yes, we did go through all those oppressions and things like that, but we didn't go through that. Our ancestors did. So we can't keep using that as an excuse in regards to where we at now. Because best believe if our ancestors is who we are today in this time, like they definitely would not be utilizing their time the way that our generations have been utilizing our time. And I don't feel like two brothers arguing about, for one, the past, that's stupid because that's not going to get us anywhere. And for two, to be yelling over something that, okay, we're going to talk about one aspect, which is a impoverished area. What about other areas within the Black community? So I feel like it's only being looked at from one spectrum. And I always feel like it's very disgraceful because I do feel like the Black community does utilize through some form of victimhood to say, oh, well, our ancestors went through this and went through that. Yes, that trickles down through generations, or what people like to call generational curses. But I feel like it is being used as an excuse. And honestly, myself, I'm tired of hearing it. Like, I'm tired of hearing about it. Like, I feel like if our ancestors was here, they would be like, what do we have to even do with this? Because all those, what we want to talk about, our oppressors or whatever, our blood, their blood, sweat, and tears that our ancestors put into just for us to be here, and we're not doing anything with it. What is there really an argument about to feel victimized, to always want to say, oh, well, it's because of slavery. Oh, well, it's because of white people. Sounds like a bunch of excuses to me. And I really feel like that's what St. Police Academy is trying to articulate. But it's just frustrating when you're speaking to someone that is going to continue to make an excuse over and over again about white people and slavery that don't have anything to do with us. Our ancestors would have used their time. They
I'm
would have
saying they
loved these
both can be true.
opportunities. They would have loved this freedom that we have. And it's not the type of freedom that we want, because we are still enslaved in some form or fashion, whether it's financial slavery or whatever that is. But can you imagine, like, if we really just kind of let that shit go and been like, okay, like, our ancestors went through slavery, like, let's do something better, instead of like using it as a clutch to get away with your poor behavior and your poor life decisions that you make.
Who else are we going to complain to? If we ever stop complaining about white people, what are we going to complain about? Do you see what I'm saying? It's just like white people are like the lion and black people like the cubs. So, like the cubs, and it just keep biting at the lion, and the lion just looking at, not even paying no attention to him. You get what I'm saying? But the cubs got the right to keep picking at the lion, but the lion is not responding. You get what I'm saying? So it's just a weird thing. And some men, a lot of men and a lot of women, they just perpetual victims. You know what I'm saying? They'll just always be that way. You know what I'm saying? Just equivalent. You got the same way you have the black people. I'm not gonna argue back and forth with him.
I want to ask you a question. I want to keep it
You can ask whatever you want to ask after I'm through talking. But I'm not gonna.
For 10 minutes, so I don't got all day.
Trey, you have like you asked the same 5 questions, Trey. You ask the same. We know what you're gonna ask, Trey. We know what you're gonna ask.
But I'm just saying, can we not be victims and the most prosperous black ethnic group at the same time? Can we not be both?
He thinks that what he's saying, what he got to ask is so important. So let me stop what I was saying and let him go ahead.
I mean, if you really want to keep it all the way real, I know some of the other ladies come on here and they kind of sit back, but I kind of feel like Sim Police, you do have like a very valid point. But it's kind of like your emotions, and I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but your emotions is kind of in the way of people actually accepting what you're saying. Like, they actually want to mute you because it's going from a level of an intellectual conversation, even though nobody agrees with Trey. But it's like kind of hard to listen to you because like you're yelling, and I understand like you're very passionate, but it's kind of hard to take in what you're saying because it's like it's so much energy.
I think which one is
emotional? And then at the same time, you're not even letting Trey talk, even though you don't agree with what he's saying.
Here's all I want to say. I think Sim Police makes great points, and that's why I said from the jump, I don't like getting mischaracterized, because I said I'm not making excuses. I said we can be victims and all that, like every black person on the planet, but we also still manifested that to be the highest quality of life of any black ethnic group on the planet. So we have a victimhood that is true, which is so does every black person on this planet. We're all under systematic white supremacy, but foundational black Americans still are the highest quality of life ethnic group on this planet right now.
Trey, you also said that the life expectancy of the Maasai is 41 or 45 years old, which is a lie.
No, but that's due to they have a high infant mortality rate. But once they live past 5, they live to 77 years old. Once they live past 5, it's 77 years old, but they have a high infant mortality rate that brings it down.
Hey, Diners, I was on the show that day, and all that, but he added in now. He did not say that day.
No,
Well,
no.
his words
Is
were,
it true?
he said,
Is
I
it
just
true or
looked,
false? Is it
he
true or
said,
false?
this was his exact word. He
Is it
said, I
true
just
or
looked it
false?
up. He said, I just looked it up on Google, and the Maasai people, the men, they don't live to be but 41 years old. And that was all he said.
When you factor in infant mortality, I don't have to say, I don't have to
Bro,
add all that.
I understand. I understand what you're saying today. I'm just making a point that when you brought it up as a point the other day, you didn't say none of that extra stuff. Yeah, I mean, whatever you're saying
I'm
today,
saying you
that's
can
fine.
average 40 points a game, but if you have some games where you score 2 points, it drops your average.
All I'm saying is that ain't what you said the other day. You know what I'm saying? It'll be the same way I said today is Tuesday, the day is Thursday, and then you asked me about it Friday, and I started saying, well, it was Thursday at 1:30 Eastern time, standard time. You just didn't say that the other day. I mean, come on, man.
Wait, so do that not drop their average down? Do those babies dying not drop their average down and their quality of life? Do
What
those
do that have
babies
to do
dying
with the
not drop
topic?
their
We
do
were
those
not even
babies
talking
dying
about
not
babies.
drop
We
their
talking
life
about
expectancy
grown
down on
people.
average?
It has absolutely nothing. And let me tell y'all one thing. You know what I'm saying? The thing about it, there's nothing emotional about me. I talk this way anyway. Diners, even when you talk to me on the phone, off, and don't I talk the same way?
Yes.
So that's what I'm saying. See, I can understand how y'all can think it's emotional, but I'm not an emotional person. I'm cutthroat, no emotions at all. You get what I'm saying? I have no heart, no love. You get what I'm saying? Straight up.
I'm not mad at it.
But let me finish. Can I finish saying what I'm saying? For you know what I'm saying? Just I ain't been talking for 30 seconds. So, you know what I'm saying? It's passion behind my voice, and I just talk loud regardless. So even when me and Diners were having a business conversation for about 30 to 40, we probably was on the phone for about an hour, and I talk the same way. Did my vocal decimals go down, Diners, at all?
No.
Thank you, appreciate it. But go ahead.
Hey, yo, Sim, can I ask Dinus a question? Now, Dinus, you want to bring up the Messiah, and I told you life expectancy. Do they not have a high infant mortality rate, and does that not affect the average?
I don't know.
What do they have to do with
telling you
the
that's
topic?
true. I didn't lie, so don't frame it like I lied. I'm telling the truth.
No, but born 1111. Again, like I said, whenever you bring up something about ADOS FBA, they gotta just deflect and point to somebody else.
Right. That don't have anything to do with the topic.
That's what they do. That's what they do. But African Devil, go ahead. African Devil, unmute yourself.
I'm saying you brought it up today.
Appreciate you. Hey, I appreciate you, bro. I'm gonna be brief. Just because I saw the topic and that this is actually something I really, really talk about a lot. Yeah, I guess you could call us FBA. This is a big issue with us. We are using a lot of this shit that has happened is valid, but we're using it as an excuse. And the reality of it is, it's like when you see somebody, I don't know, everybody not from a city or a metro area, but when you see somebody who they gone off of whatever drug or something happened, they lost their mind, you see that they exhibit like repetitive behavior, right? They get stuck in a cycle. That's what you see with our group. Like that's the microcosm of our group being the macrocosm. And we have it's like insanity, but I don't want to put that on us, but we're almost stuck in a loop. And I got an inkling that the culprit is like the chemicals, the processed food, the street drugs, the over-the-counter drugs, because that's the only thing that really changed in the mid 20th century with us, is that we started consuming foreign entities. We started taking a lot of substances in, and we haven't been the same ever since. People using slavery, all this shit as an excuse, yes. And the solutions, like the things that even what you're doing, Dinast, like Pan-Africanism, the solution's been around. We know the 100th anniversary of the red, black, and green was just 2 years ago. So
we don't African Devil, we don't want solutions. We want victimhood. Listen, I was in a group the other day, and I was calling this stuff out. Women getting killed in Atlanta because they didn't have enough mayonnaise on a sandwich. And then here
Right.
come the, everybody, all of a sudden, when you call out the gang violence in Atlanta, here come everyone swearing that they're gang conflict. They practice gang conflict resolution, and they in the trenches. So they was like, Dynast, what's your solution? I said, listen, I ain't got no solution because I'm not trying to reinvent the wheel. You got the Nation of Islam, you got Malcolm X, you got Amos Morton, you got John H. Clark, you got all these people who wrote books, volumes of books, what the solutions were, and y'all didn't accept it. Everybody in that group was like, oh man, all that stuff's outdated. That stuff is outdated. It's old. That stuff don't apply to now. So black folks don't want solutions. They want victimhood. They want to complain. That's what they want.
And I 1000% agree. That's a big thing, is that we have to be able to be calm enough, neutral enough to recognize that, and also still maintain our optimism. You know what I mean? Like, as far as acting on the solutions and building up.
I think you get a lot of pushback. Dynast. Hold on 1 second. Yo, I think Dynast.
African Devil, what city you from, my brother?
Yo, we're the only group. FBA is saying we're the only group.
I'm from PG County, right outside of Hyattsville.
Under the bus. Right. That Chinese lady will lie about the crime in her community. White people will never talk about their trailer parks. But we for some reason will come over here and have non-FBA and stuff just focusing on our worst of our worst. And we know that's a lost cause and damn near pointless if you're trying to get with solutions. If it only black people, white people do not throw themselves under the bus. You will not see them talking publicly just about their worst. Like that dude said on Fox News, they don't do that. That Chinese lady lied about the crime in their community, and literally just because they will not throw themselves under the bus. Only black people, and we say we want to be like these successful groups. We're the only group that will focus on our bottom 1/2 of 1% every single day for hours. And that makes no sense. So,
Hey, Dynast, could you hear me?
Yeah, go ahead, man. Go ahead, question. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, cool. I chimed into the conversation, and we have to have the conversation. I put in the chat. There was a quote by Dr. Chancellor William. He wrote the book Destruction of the Black Civilization. I read the book over 25 years ago, and he talks about he says that a man cannot reach racial worth and identity without knowing his, I'm paraphrasing, without knowing his culture and knowing his background. So I took on, when I was 18 years old, I'm almost 50 now. I can remember my brother used to bring books back from New York, True Light books, Message to the Black Man. I processed in the Nation of Islam, and I had quite a bit of time to study. I can remember over 25 years ago, a Pan-African brother came to me. He was like, we got to go to Africa and build schools and hospitals. At that time, I was like, what? I ain't going nowhere near Africa. It wasn't in my mind. But as I educated myself and began to understand, the problem that plagued us, which is the society that we live in itself, everything about it, educational system, political system, financial system, the way that we are built, we are built in favor of our enemy. That's how we're built. In our conversation, we have these conversations and we get emotional and we get passionate about it, but we are still locked into, having to get up and going to work for the system. The only way out for us is to have our own land, as Honorable Elijah Muhammad shared in the book, The Message to the Black Man. It was recommended years ago that we move into three states. All of our people just move and concentrate your forces. That's the law of power. And, and we can do that in small groups as well. We're all not going to get together and make it happen because, we're too far gone as a community. It's very hard for us to come together and show genuine love for one another. And we need to do that as a collective, as brothers and sisters as well. But we have a lot of traumas in that relationship, and it caused disruption. However, anything is possible when you get together with a group of people that are focused. If you're in the States, 2 or 3 families, look at the Mexicans. Let's follow their model. But it's hard for us to live together. That's why we're being devastated, economically and politically, by other foreign national groups. But in any case, like I said, just me, myself, I mean, we can be very impactful, by putting ourselves in a dynamic where we are more valuable. And there was a sister, I don't know her name, but she's a YouTuber as well. And she talked about, she's in East Africa, and she was like, in the States, it's oversaturated. My skill sets are possessed by many, But when I came back to Africa with my bachelor's and my master's, I was really able to, things were able to really take off for me. And that's what we want to be. We want to be in a situation where we're empowered and we're not constantly, swimming upstream. And then we can empower our outer environment, which would support us, as far as being in Africa. I tried the South. I was in Puerto Rico. I got people that's down in Costa Rica and Mexico. And, I had to move from Atlanta. I got shot in Atlanta, right on HE home station. I lived in Atlanta for 16 years, after leaving Connecticut, but then I moved to Orlando because Atlanta used to be the Black Mecca 20 years ago, but it's not. We talking about 559 days. I used to live right there on Ashby Street, 112 days, and when Atlanta was live 20 years ago. Everything has changed from there. It's not the Black Mecca. Africa is the Black Mecca. Get yourself with Dynasts, come over and see what Africa has to offer. The next generation of Black Americans will be born on this continent. And nobody can possibly believe that America is going to get any better because, I heard Tucker Carlson said, he said, with one generation accepts, the next generation embraces. So we're just seeing a constant decline in the morality in the whole American way of life and system.
Hey, let me ask you a question though, because you said two things that I think that's a contradiction for us as a people. Now, in one breath, you said that we should move to our own area, whatever. You get what I'm saying? And then the second breath, then you said that okay, we're not cool with each other. We don't like each other. We don't get along with each other. So my question to you, my brother, is: so do you think that if all of a sudden, just say we pick 3 states and we all move in the outskirts, whatever, you think that we move out there then we'll start getting along?
Well, I said the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said that over 70 years ago. That time has passed.
I get what you're saying. I was just asking you. I guess I'm just asking you your opinion. Believe me, I studied Islam for a while myself, so I know that's what he said. But I'm just asking
in my opinion,
yes, sir.
In my opinion, as far as I'm concerned, I think it's best for us to start looking outside of the USA for quality of life and a future for our youth. We was on the live the other day, and most of our people see higher learning as a way to empower our youth and empower ourselves. Higher learning, that's the best thing we've been able to come up with. And then you have the Mexican who that are coming in who are less educated over the past 20-30 years that were able to beat us economically as well as politically in the US because they work together. A third of our income goes out the household in terms of just leasing and renting. That's a third of our income, right? They have been able to leverage that by having 3 or 4 families in the house, giving them more income, expendable income to start businesses and things like that. But those are all statistics, things that's taking place around us. And like I said, when you look at Atlanta and you or just look around it, and we're seeing a rise in mass shootings, all right? And, you can have a situation where a young brother, I'm not in Atlanta, I'm not sure if he was a brother, I'm assuming. And he had a confrontation inside a subway, and a sister get killed.
He was black. He was a brother.
Okay. Well, listen. I used to live on Boulder Crest Road. I used to live on the deck and all of that. Triple and quadruple murders that used to happen all the time. Okay.
What apartments you stayed in on Boulder Crest? What apartments you stayed in on Boulder Crest?
My sister lived in Eagles Run. That's when I first went to Atlanta.
I stayed in Sun Valley, right up the street from it.
Right. And then we moved down the street a little bit closer to the gas station right there at the fork of the road. And I lived on Gresham Road. Right. But like for us as a people, a brother, he made a comment. He was like, are there guns? Could we bring guns over to Africa? And I'm like, listen, people have guns here for hunting. But we don't need that as a solution to handle our problems. When somebody gets your order wrong, or you get, you know, all of the guns that everybody have, you know, simple, you know, disagreements are turning into a murder. On top of the fact that, you know, I have 6 children, and I was a soccer dad for a long time. I did my business and got money, but I did that from home. And I used to go to the Walmarts and I wouldn't feel comfortable. You understand what I'm saying? When you know, I was blessed to have a team of people with me, but you know, just in case anything happened. But I shouldn't feel like if I go in Walmart, you know, I have to be on the lookout for somebody that might come in there and shoot, and then I have to grab a baby and grab the groceries and try to run up out of Walmart, you know?
I get it. But see, you know, you said a lot of stuff, and it was good stuff. A lot of the stuff you said is the same stuff that I say. But the one thing I like to break stuff down to its lowest common denominator. And the one thing that when you spoke about Mexican, Latinos, and white people, they actually get along. They like being around each other. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
They can go somewhere, and like, let me tell you something. I was in the redneck part of Louisiana, and I seen these white boys sit up there. I mean, the whole group of them had a drug out fight. You know what they got up and did after that? Like, the friends that got their ass whooped, they was like, "Hey, now go buy him a drink." You get what I'm saying? Now go buy him a drink. They all sat down. I'm talking about eyes busted, lip bloody, and they made the dudes that started the fight. They was like, now you, since you started the fight and got your ass whooped, the drinks are on you. You get what I'm saying? Like, it's the de-escalation thing that other people can do. See, what the problem is with black people, when black people get irate, you know what I'm saying? Nobody can stop them. Nobody can slow them down. So this the same way when we were speaking about the subway situation, and I said it the other day, and people didn't believe me. It was a full-fledged argument. The argument started about the mayonnaise, but the two females the two females in the subway, which was cousins. They went to arguing and calling the dude all type of fuck nigga, pussy nigga. You ain't gonna do shit. You arguing with a female. You see, they try to turn it around on you and disrespecting the guy. Believe me, I'm not saying what he did is right at all. But what I'm saying is that why would 2 females that just been working at a subway, they only had been at that job for 3 weeks, man. 3 weeks. And you arguing about the white man's $5 footlong with your child there, and you know your child don't supposed to be at that job, but you got child.
I mean, at the end of the day, those, you know, they're sitting there, and there are our young brothers and sisters, and that's how it's ending. You understand what I'm saying? We know our sisters buck. You know what I mean? We know our young men are buck, and that's the community. And you know, I always tell people, in order for us to get it back to how we were, we would have to go through the same type of extreme that brought us into the situation. They would damn near have to kidnap us and put us in chains, put us on a boat and bring us somewhere where we can't turn back, and then re-educate us. And then, you know, we would have to be beat into it, because, you know, we can't even tell our people, hey, listen, we need to work together. Let's work together. Or and then when we're building and working together, right? When they see that happening, you might have other people around that get jealous. You understand what I'm saying? So we would have to go through the same extreme, and for generations be brought, or come back to what I did is I've seen enough death in the community, you know, my friends getting killed, my brothers getting killed, and all of this type of stuff. I said, you know what I'm gonna do? You know, I'm going to go to Africa, right? And I'm going to bring my seed over there. And I'm going to get back of some of what was lost. I have nephews. The last time I was in Connecticut, my nephew said he was going to do something to me. He was mad because I helped him. Then he said he going to do something to me, like he going to shoot me or something like that, because I helped him with some money and he ain't want to pay me. And guess what? He ended up getting shot. But you know, that ain't no place where I'll take my children.
You know, he didn't tell you to get it in blood, did he?
What's that?
He didn't tell you to get. He said he didn't tell you if you want your money back, you got to get it in blood, did you?
You know, but like I said, he ended up getting shot. And but you know, like, you know, our family unit there is all broken down. You know, I was able to give my children a life that I dreamed of when I left. But I will not bring my children to New Haven, Connecticut, where my family is. My children don't even understand. They had a great life in Atlanta for a long time, traveled all over. And then, they've been in Orlando, Florida for 4 years. But when I was down in Orlando, I was like, hey, I can't, it's just too many Spanish people. When I go out, I can't, like, I just finished meeting with a developer, a black developer here. I got a whole Gambian family. I got beautiful Gambian wives. And, that's not happening for you in South Florida or Costa Rica or something like that. We're always trying to fit in. You know what I mean? So Africa presents an opportunity, and there's many different nations that you can go. We don't have to group up and expect us all to come together. We know that there's problems when that happens, but you can come and you can be influential in the community, and be able to live 2 or 3 times, greater than you would in the States.
Now, one thing I will be on a few black people's side when they tell me about Africa is that, a lot of black people, like you said, how we live up under this white supremacy, but it still got a safety net, which is the welfare system. You get what I'm saying? So, you can be broke, but you won't starve. There's always somewhere to eat. You know what I'm saying? Something like that. Now, one thing I give them credit for that by the acronyms TIA, this is Africa. You're on your own. Once you step off that plane, you're on your own. You get what I'm saying? It's no type of support system. Now don't get me wrong. If I go, I don't need that. You know what I'm saying? I can, I will swim swim in the mud plenty of times. I know how to assimilate. You get what I'm saying? But a lot of black people, a lot of black people are what we call in the hood, we call them spoon-fed niggas. You get what I'm saying? Or hands-fed. You know what I'm saying? They're used to somebody pointing them in the right direction or giving them some type of itinerary of what place you got to go to. In Africa, it's just not like that. So what I tell a lot of people that, if you don't have that entrepreneur go-getter spirit, you know what I'm saying, you might not want to go over there, because I would hate for black people, you know what I'm saying, to sit on a plane for 17 hours, spend $2,000 to $3,000, and then go over there and then somebody charge them an extra 30 cents for a mango. You know what I'm saying? And now they making videos disparaging. You get what I'm saying? Now I'm gonna call it extreme what you said, because I agree with everything you said. I think that black people, the same way how the colonizers came and got us from Africa and broke us down to build America, I think the same thing need to happen. I think that black people in the groups and droves need to be kidnapped from America. I think that's the only thing. That this is how extreme I think, because I think it's 85-15%. I think 85% black people are useless. You get what I'm saying? And I think 15%, these are the movers and shakers, but they don't want to deal with the 85%. So now, the only way that 85% can be saved is to be uprooted out of this system. Because one thing about the goods, the service, 24-hour AC, food stamps, Medicaid, we got Peach Care in Atlanta, you know what I'm saying? Me and Dinah's both from Atlanta. And we got these safety nets where you can do the bare minimum and still survive. In Africa, you do the bare minimum. If you ain't got no support system, no family, nothing over there, you're gonna starve over there. You get what I'm saying? So you don't have that plan. Last point before you say something to that is that when with African Devil, he brought up a point about the drugs. Now, one thing about it, I came from the cocaine spill in the 86, 88, 89. I'm gonna tell you, African Devil, that the cocaine, the drugs are not as potent. You get what I'm saying? They're not. Back in when I first jumped in the game, all the work was probably 89. You could get work for 89 to 92% pure. You know what I'm saying? You get some work right now. That shit gonna be a quarter, 9 ounces of it gonna be reworked. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna have some Ambisol in there. You're gonna have all type of shit mixed up in it. So the drugs are actually less potent, because I know how to cook it. You get what I'm saying? Usually it would take but a 60. You can cook up a 62 and bring it back glass, and you will only lose 3 or 4 grams. Right now, if you cook up a 62 with some of the best work on the streets, you're gonna lose a whole 8 grams. And now you got to water whip it, stretch it with some baking soda to get your 8 grams back. So the drugs are actually less potent than it was back in the day. But go ahead, my brother.
But hey, real quick, that's actually what I was saying about the drugs is that, all right, so most of those drugs, like even when you're talking about cocaine, these are natural occurring substances. What happened in the mid 20th century is that we started putting synthetic substances, like you talking about reworking the drugs, like you got synthetic substances. They literally call them endocrine disrupting chemicals. You talking about food, you talking about drugs, you talking about pharmaceuticals. These things, they like distort and disrupt how our hormone development occurs. So you talking about the danger is that now the children of those drug addicts, the children, how people develop mentally and physically, it changes.
Can you guys hear me? Can you guys hear me? Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, I heard you. His mic just loud.
No, after that, you can go ahead and finish. But I was gonna say, but they tell me weed is from the earth, African devil. Weed is from the earth. How dare you talk about marijuana? It's from the earth. How dare you?
Man, people smoking GMO weed. They smoking GMO weed, chemically altered weed. So
they
it's cool.
They smoking that K2
yeah,
too.
They smoking that K-Pack. They for real. And it is what, you know what I'm saying? It's I ain't, like the brother said, though, I agree we shouldn't, spend too much time dwelling on it, you know what I'm saying, or talking, but it is what it is. Like, that shit really affects people. And when it's affecting your hormone, your emotional state, and you might be a genius, but one false emotional decision can destroy your whole legacy. So when you having emotional problems and you can't adjust emotionally, it don't matter. You might be a superstar athlete, you might be a nuclear physicist, but if you keep making the wrong decisions in the heat of the moment, you're gonna throw it all away. And that's what I'm seeing is like it's like that's what's going on with us. We having a lot of that. And so we just blessed though. The only thing I say, because I gotta jump off, is just for everybody that can have a conversation on this level, see it, can execute on the ideas and the solutions, just be grateful. Just continue to be grateful that you just made it by the skin of your mouth. You know what I'm saying? You just made it. Like, so just keep going. Just keep going.
Appreciate that, man. Appreciate that. Now, Dynas, I hope that some more people come up here and try to defend it, to try to defend why we shouldn't have a plan outside of America, you know what I'm saying? Besides saying that this is our home, it's a sad thing. Every time I hear Black people saying that America is our home, it just reminds me of this TV show I saw on the Lifetime channel, you know what I'm saying? And this chick, she was just getting beat up, you know what I'm saying? They would just break into her house and they just kept messing with her. And you know what I'm saying? She could have left the neighborhood, like nobody was on her side. You get what I'm saying? But she just continued to stay there and keep getting messed with, keep getting fucked with, to the point that she went crazy. So, and then, watching it, and I was like, why would they make a show like this? You get what I'm saying? Like, why would you sit in a place where you're complaining about that's doing you so bad, that they got you praying to white Jesus, talking about this world ain't my home. Soon and very soon, we going to see the king. You know what I'm saying?
Soon and very soon, we are going to see the king.
Hallelujah. You know what I'm saying?
Going to see the king. Hold on, y'all. Hold on. We in church now. Soon and very soon, we are going to see the king. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. We are going to see the king. All right, go ahead.
What about the second verse? No more crying days. We going to see the king. So, it's almost like church and church in the club on Saturdays is Black people escape. You know what I'm saying? And the problem is that we can be as wild as we want to be, but why always somebody got to die? Why is always somebody got to get the shooting? You get what I'm saying? Like the fight. I don't even like to talk about the old days at all, and I just don't do it. But the thing about it, I just notice when I'm around Latino people, Mexican people, I mean Latino people, white people, Jewish people, and all that, when they get in the fight, like it's somebody that be like, okay, it's over with. You get what I'm saying? You go that way, I go this way. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the thing about us, is that we so out of control, nobody can talk to him. Just like that brother was saying about one of his family members wanted to shoot him. I never forget, man, we was all in the car with my cousins, and one of my cousins, they got to arguing. As soon as she got out the car, she pulled out a gun. We was on our way to a family reunion. She pulled out a gun just because somebody was talking shit. Nobody put their hands on her. Nobody, just for her, just because she didn't want to hear what this person said, she pulled out a gun. And you know where she at right now, Danish? She's serving, that's the one I told you about the other day. She's serving 15 years in prison right now. You get what I'm saying? That's the funny part with our people, that even though we claim we don't fuck with the police, even though we can't stand the government, but soon as there's something happen to you by another black person, the first thing black people be on the news talking about, we want justice and we want the police to do their job. You know what I'm saying? We want, I can't wait to go to court. So now you like the district attorney. Now you like the judge. Now you like the police because you feel like they working for you. So the problem is with our people, and I'll pass the mic, that until it hits our doorstep, Dinus, we don't give a damn. So I understand we some loving people. We love everybody. You get what I'm saying? But we are selfish. We are selfish as hell at the same time. It was the same way like when they had that ice storm in Atlanta. I don't know if you was here then, Dinus.
I was in LA still. It was right before.
Man, the ice storm, people were shut down. I'm talking about on regular roads. So imagine 285, people were just stuck. Imagine on Camp Creek, people just stuck in their cars. Instead of, and these in black neighborhoods, but instead of black people coming out their house and helping people that were stuck in front of their house, they were just sitting online putting up prayer quotes, you know what I'm saying, and Bible verses. You know what I'm saying? They wouldn't have, that just show you how evil we are towards each other. Because I guarantee you, if a white person had the option to take a black person that he works with and a white bum off the street, and he'd be like, which one I'm gonna take in my house? That white man still would choose the bum. Because on Sunday is one of the most segregated days in America. You get what I'm saying? Don't get me wrong. It's some black white people that go to black churches, and there's some black people that go to white churches. But most of us on our religious thing, that's about the only time we segregate is on Sunday. You know what I'm saying? Monday through Friday, we're up under the system. So that's what I'm trying to tell you. We won't come out and help each other, but we will look for some internet clout. The white person, if he had the bum on the corner and a respectable black person on this job, and he had to help one and say, I was going to bring him in my house, he still would choose the bum on the corner. That's the difference between them and us, is that they actually like each other. They actually get along with each other. That's why they can stay in the house 3 or 4 deep, Diners, because they got decorum. They got a pecking order. They got a hierarchy. We don't have no hierarchy. If me, you, and Diego mate start a business, one of us will start talking about, well, I put in the most money, so I should, get paid the most. If Diego might say, well, I'm doing most of the labor, then I should get the most money. You get what I'm saying? It's like no matter what we put down on a contract, we still find some moral stupid ass reason to why we should make more money than the others, even though we agreed on something on the initial. It's like we don't know how to negotiate contracts. We just morally complain about something that we agree upon. But I pass the mic, man.
All right, go ahead, Trey. Then we're gonna pass it to Diego. Go ahead, Trey. Unmute yourself, Trey. All right, going once, going twice. All right. Diego, go ahead and mute yourself.
Good evening. Hope everybody's doing okay. So
Yes.
I agree with the Sim Police Academy. That's the first point I have to say. So, but I think the main issue here is we don't honor our image as Black people. You see, think about this, Dinus. When you look at yourself in the mirror, you love yourself. You see, you like your image. You think you look good. You see, now you will not leave the house looking bad. You see, because you honor your image. You see, and this is the main issue we got. I believe in something. I believe that the outside reflects who you are on the inside. You see, so you come here to my country, there's a lot of trash here, you see, on the streets where the poor Blacks live. Now, what are you going to say? These Blacks do not honor who they are, because I can't understand how come you can run a business. Next to you is somebody sleeping on the ground, and on the right, somebody's eating, and in front of you, someone is pissing. You see, you don't honor your image because you cannot accept such a thing to happen. So I believe one of the main issues here is we don't honor our image. You come to my country, kids 22 years old want to smash a white girl. Now I ask them, what is it with the white girl that he wants to smash? He can't tell you. You see, so I believe here there's a issue here of Black folks not honoring their image, and I don't know where it started.
Hold on, hey, Diners, we got somebody named Cujo in the chat. I would love for you to come up on the show. And he made a I'm real interactive with, and my channel is not as big as yours. Shout out, shameless plug, y'all. Subscribe to the Silk Police Academy. I will be doing the show this weekend. We'll be doing the show this weekend. But he made a statement that said that white people don't like each other whatsoever. But this is the thing, Mr. Cujo. The difference between white people not liking each other, that a white person would steal, even though they don't like it. So think about the logic. White people don't like each other, but a white person will hire a white person. They'll hire their own. You get what I'm saying? If white people don't like each other, still it's somebody you can go to a cookout or somewhere that they're always giving a leg up. What is it called, Diners? What is it called? Nepotism, right? It's nepotism.
Right, nepotism. Right.
No, see, white people, since you claim that they hate each other, white people practice nepotism. We don't practice nepotism at all. You get what I'm saying? We don't want another Black person that knows us to work with us. You get what I'm saying? We won't turn on our next door neighbor or somebody that we know that's doing bad to a job, because we feel like some type of way that Black person gonna make us look bad. Latinos, they damn sure practice nepotism. The Jewish people, oh my God, do they practice nepotism? You get what I'm saying? Why they practice nepotism and they know that we don't, so they came up with a plan, Diners. They said, well, let's move inside they hoods, so let's find out what type of food they make and let's set up shop. Since they don't even open up business to feed themselves, we'll move in their neighborhoods and we'll feed them. We'll move in their neighborhoods and sell them liquor. We'll move in their neighborhoods and sell them electronics. We'll move in their neighborhoods. You get what I'm saying? Because they won't open up their own business to sell it to themselves, because it ain't for Black people. Black people are social by default. You get what I'm saying? It's not a lot of Black people that can sit up in an Exxon gas station behind the glass for 12 hours at a time to run a store 24 bit. It's not many businesses in Atlanta, that far as I know, in the world, Diners, that's ran by Black people that's 24 hours. Do you know a business before I stick my foot in my mouth, because I don't know any? Do you know any business that's ran by Black people that's 24 hours?
Off the top of my head, no.
Now think about that for a second. You from California, I'm from Atlanta, and me and you both are business people, and we don't know not one business that's ran, that one business that's owned by Black people that's run 24. But how many business do other nationalities run in the hood that's 24/7, Diners?
Oh, a lot.
See what I'm saying? See, the thing about it is everybody else is conducting business and we just want to have a good time. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I say that us black people being so sociable, it's a detriment, because even though we like having a good time, we like drama at the same time. So you get what I'm saying? So it's the same way, like even after the clubs. I don't know last time you've been to the club, Diners, like the DJ have to start playing slow music to get black people out the club. So at some clubs, they'll start playing church music. They'll start playing Kurt Franklin. I'm dead ass serious. I mean, even though people don't agree with me, y'all black people, let Diners know in the chat if that's true. When y'all at these clubs and it's finna close, black people don't want to leave. So the DJ start playing. I mean, he might start playing some Bobby Womack. He might start playing some Kurt Franklin or some BB King, just to get black people out of there. And then what do black people do after they go out the club? They just surround themselves in the parking lot. They still don't want to go home. So when they forced to leave the parking lot, what do they do after that, Diners? Then they find a Waffle House or a gas station to go hang out. We're sociable to a fault. At that time, somebody got to get in a fight. Somebody now you go from staring at each other in the club while the music playing. You go to staring at each other in the parking lot doing nothing. Then you go to the club. You go to the restaurant or the gas station staring at each other. Eventually, you're gonna see somebody you don't like, Diners. You get what I'm saying? I have went to bars, clubs, concert, monster truck pulls with all type of race of people. When them people say get ready to go, man, them people make a beeline to their car, start up, and they go. I don't even see them going to the restaurants close by. You know what I'm saying? Everybody just the parking lot. I'm talking about it could be a parking lot. The place can hold 80,000 people, Diners. Within 15 minutes, that whole parking lot is clear.
Right.
I passed the mic there.
Let's see your Sky. 1 second. Go ahead, Skywalker.
Hey, how you doing, Diners, man? I think it's
First of all, 1 second, guys. Do me a favor. Hit that like button again, please. Hit the like button. Do me a favor, guys. Hit that like button. Do me a favor. Hit that like button. Go ahead, Skywalker.
Yeah, Diners, man. I listen to you a lot, and I don't think we talk enough about the linguistic manipulation of our people everywhere they are in the world, and the implications of being forced to speak the language of a foreign people. See, most African Americans.
Brother Sky, we on. That's a different topic, brother. We on that. That's just.
Well. See, I think that it really ties into the topic. See, and see that's a result of our fundamental misunderstanding of language, right? Everything goes back to language. The topic of this story today is white man and slavery.
So black men killing other black men is a result of language?
Yes, Diners. And I need you please to understand me on this. Okay. This is something that the Pan-African movement, any kind of movement, we must understand what language is. Our people have a fundamental misunderstanding of language, and it is costing us catastrophe wherever we are. Okay? Now, most people think that the purpose of language is, first, let me use the Socratic method for a minute, Diners. What would you say the purpose of language is?
To communicate.
No, see, exactly. That's the wrong answer. The purpose of language is not communication. Communication is a byproduct of language. It is something else that we can do with it. Communication, in other words, is a benefit of language, but it is not the purpose. And so the purpose of language is actually control. That's the purpose of language. But when I say control of what? Well, the purpose of language is that language is the magic or the spiritual medium that we use to control our thoughts. And if we want to take it a step further, then we can communicate, right? That's why you can live your whole life and not say a word, but you cannot live your whole life and not have thought, because language is what makes thinking possible. Therefore, whoever people you speak the language of, they will have an influence not only on your worldview, but on your behavior and the way that you behave. That's why in our community has been injected with negative language in the form of hip hop, in the form of all other kind of things, right? You know what I mean? But what this language has done is that it has caused our mind to form a negative worldview of ourselves. Now, if we hold for true that the purpose of a language, right, or when you speak the language of people who have conquered you, that you also adopt their worldview, then therefore, if the people whose language you speak, if they hate you, then it's more likely that you're going to hate yourself, right? So the thing that is fueling the slavery that we see among our people is linguistic. It is a mental thing, because we are speaking with people who define our world because we're using their words. Then they are defining the way that we see each other. They're defining the way where we see what's right and what's wrong. We are skipping over the most basic thing to analyze our situation. See, language is the most basic thing we have. It's the very first thing that was given to us, right? And see, what language is and that's why to talk about language, we have to use language, because there's no other means to do it, right? Matter of fact, you know what etymology is?
Bro, when you said language is what makes thinking possible, you lost me. I thought the chicken before the egg or whatever I thought thinking was, you just finished saying just before that, though, you can think without having language. So then how is language making thinking possible? That don't make sense. But anyway, carry on, I guess.
Well, it helps with your thinking pattern. It helps with your thinking pattern. So he has a point, though.
No, I mean, I could see that, yeah, but language does not make thinking possible. But what I wanted to say was that, that was a divergent from the main line. I came in and I'm getting a feel for the room. I think that if we're, kind of making connections with
right?
This problem that we have with self-destructiveness, killing ourselves, killing our brothers by killing ourselves. There's a lot of spiritual things going on with us as a people here in this country. And I don't think that the religions are, facilitating the balance, the wholeness, the healthiness of our people. And that can only be gotten through our spiritual traditions, or some other ancient system of spirituality. And I'm primarily speaking about ancestral energy right now.
Well, see, I'm against all kind of tribalism, right? I'm not trying to, say one thing is right, one thing is wrong. I think I'm really kind of fed up with black people just constantly disagreeing and just debating about things that really don't even need to be debated about, right? But we just need to, that's why I'm against all tribalism. I don't like to say that, hey, what you're saying is wrong, is here, because I don't want to offend anyone, right? You know what I mean? And so that's why I like to base a lot of what I'm saying just kind of just like off fact, right? And one thing that you can't go wrong with when it comes down to fact is the study of language and words, right? And that's where you get etymology from. Etymology literally means the study of truth. It doesn't mean the study of words, because the best way to get to truth is through the study of words. And when I said that thinking or that language makes thinking possible, what I mean is that the thinking, you should read this book called What is Called Thinking by Martin Heidegger, real famous philosopher that lived a while back. But what thinking is a kind of conversation that you conduct with yourself on the inside, right? And to do this conversation, language is vital. I'm not saying that you can invent some kind of way to communicate with yourself without using words or language. That might be possible, but it's going to be very hard. So in other words, maybe I shouldn't have said that thinking makes it possible. I mean, that language makes thinking possible. Maybe I should have said that language makes thinking convenient or makes it more easy.
There you go, man. Like that's what I was gonna tell you. I was on your side. You just set the premise. You set the premises up wrong. So it kind of sounded meta.
I'm sorry about that. Yeah. I'm sorry about that.
So that's the thing that we try to tell people on this channel, that words matter. You get what I'm saying? So there you go.
Okay, so I'm expecting to prove to Dynasty that words matter, right? Using etymology. Now watch this. The word itself, right, has an ancient prefix within it. When you take the W away from the word, you're left with a prefix called ord, O-R-D, right? And we use that word to make words like order or ordain. You see what I'm saying? And the word ord, that prefix has always meant, and you can't even really change the meaning of a word. All I can change is what you think a word means because of what a word inherently is. A word is an order. And what does it mean to order something? To order something means to summon something, to bring something to you. And so when we use language, what we are doing is summoning things spiritually that whether you know it or not, right? You're bringing things into fruition. I mean, another example of the reason that the meaning of a word never changes is because so that when the people who conquer you, when you speak their language, they can make you think that certain words mean certain things when it really don't mean what it means, to invoke what they want you to invoke by using that word. A perfect example of that word is unity. We should actually never use the word unity. We should use the word fuse or the word fusion instead of unity, because the word unity means inherently to divide. That's why it has the prefix un, un in it, which means to divide. That's where you get words like undivided, undo, right? Untie, right? And then you have the ity on the end of that word. And all the ity does is expand the scope of a word. That's a function of the English language. When we put ity, all that does is expand the scope or the reach of a word, right? Think about words like diverse, diversity, universe, university, right? And so really what unity, really we're pronouncing it wrong, really is unity, not unity. But really what unity means is to divide. It means complete division. So we should not be using that word unity. We want African fusion. That's what we should be preaching. African fusion across the nation. Now, what is fusion?
Fusion is uni mean singular or whole?
No, okay. I'm explaining why that's not the case. The word on, right? The word uni, or actually the word on is where you get the word unit from, because that's what a unit is, an individual piece of an whole, right? A divided piece of a whole. That's where you get the word united from, and the United States is not fused, right? Every government has, every state had its own government, its own jurisdiction, his own way of doing things, at least as long as it's consistent with the Constitution, right? Or think about what a union is. A union doesn't bring a warehouse together, it divides it. It makes union members and non-union members, right? So that anytime you see that that means divide. Remember I told you how important prefixes are. Matter of fact, the word prefix itself means, right? The word prefix, to fix something, means to put something in place so that it never move, right? And pre means before. And that's what a prefix is, something that was put in place that cannot be moved before. You see what I'm saying? And that's why it's almost impossible to change the meaning of a word, especially according to the prefixes. Now we have to be very, very careful. Yeah.
Good evening, gentlemen. We cannot unite with the Pookies and the Ray Rays. We have to leave them.
Exactly, my brother. You know,
let me tell you, it's a culture thing, because the same Pookies and Ray Rays, we have them in Jamaica too. They're in Africa too. So we got to get rid of them out of the cult. We got to change the culture, like Thomas Sowell says. We got to.
I don't agree with that. No, I think that we should do what we're doing right now. People,
hey, Skywalker, you got to let the man.
People
of
like mind should come together and serve as a symbol.
Skywalker.
Okay, go ahead. You're right.
Skywalker.
What you said, great thing, Skywalker. I like what you said. What you said.
Go ahead, Icon Fire.
Nah, what I'm saying is, right, we cannot have them with us because they're going to corrupt what we're trying to do. They're going to corrupt the youth with the gangsterism. The gangsterism is what killing us. And it's not even gangsterism in a good way, which is organized gangsters, like what the mafia has, the Italian mafia, the Yakuza. Them the gangsters I could respect because they do their dirt, but they do not damage their community, right? It's like what the Asians say, right? I was watching a documentary. He says, why should I stay on the corner when I could send a friend? You know who's that friend he's talking about? A black guy, right? I'll supply him with the drugs, right? He goes on the corner, he sells it to his own community. If he goes to jail, I send the friend, right? But you'll never see me there. This is a Asian gangster talking, right? So we have to get rid of this gangster culture before we do anything, right? We have to get rid of the Uncle Toms, the self-haters, and the Pookies and the Ray Rays. I have no problem with gangsters, real gangsters that want to create a mob, because America in itself is a gangster nation. It's built up on gangster premises. But like the government always wants a piece, because taxation is extortion. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, I'm completely for like I say, or actually I'm completely against any kind of like criminalism and anything of that nature, right? I'm not for that. Exactly, right?
The Japanese have it. The
Yeah,
Yakuza have stake in Mitsubishi, Yamaha, all Subaru, all the major Japanese companies that are making money in America are connected to the Yakuza.
Well, I understand. Well, that's organized. That's organized crime. What we're dealing with right here is not organized crime, right? In our community, we're not dealing with organized crime.
We gotta kill that. If they don't want to go to the next level, we cannot bring them with us.
Well,
we have to
ask
here.
ourselves. We have to ask ourselves the fundamental question, right? How did we get the minds of Ku Klux Klan members, right? And that's what's going on.
Because
Black people have
they the ones that taught us the redneck culture.
It's not just because they're the ones that taught us. It's because we are speaking their language, brother. Look, it's so much deeper than you can imagine. You know what I mean?
Hold on, y'all. We getting on topic, but this is the thing. I'll say this. I'll say this right here about the words. I agree with you what you were saying about that, but at the same time, so before we get it back on topic, the same words that will trigger a white person won't trigger a black person. You get what I'm saying? So I'm on your side with the words, but just like if a white person walk up to a white woman and he call her a cunt, she will get outraged. But you call a black woman a cunt, a black woman is not gonna get mad about that. You get what I'm saying?
Because she don't understand what a cunt means.
What I'm saying is that.
Right, hold on, y'all. Come on, man. We can't. It got to be one mic, man. We got to be one mic at a time. So what I'm saying is that the words. I get what you're saying about the words, but what I'm saying is that each group, each nationality have certain words that mean something to them, that it don't mean nothing to the other people. The Jewish have their own slang. So if you say certain words to a Jewish, that it might be like, you'd be like, man, why did they get the fight? I ain't even hear them say nothing. It's the same way when Jewish people hear us talk and they hear us calling each other niggas and bitches, all that, and then they be like, well, they call them that, so why they fighting about it? So they don't understand it. They don't understand it because they don't understand it. So what I'm saying is I understand the word thing. It's just that different nationalities have different words that mean different things to them.
We give that word power when we get offended by it.
I understand.
It's just another word to say black, like a nigga or nigger or whatever, right?
I understand.
We give that word power. We need to move past it, because I have a personal opinion that this is not about race. This whole America thing, I see it for what it is now. Hold on, wait. They're rich blacks, they're rich whites, they're poor whites, they're poor blacks, right? That's how I see it. The race thing to me is not important. Yes, classism.
Class. So let me offer this.
Wait. Let me finish. Hold on, brother. Hold on. We get caught up on the race, right? We worry about how a person looks. You know what I'm saying? When we shouldn't even be worried about that. What we should be looking at is economics, financial, because that's where the real power is. Everybody gets so caught up on who's FBA, who's from the Caribbean, who's from Africa. None of that matters. How are we going to elevate ourselves as a race is if we get our economics right. And that's where I see the opportunity with Africa. That's why I says the Pookies gotta be left. They gotta be left.
I agree.
If I
You
may
are correct.
respond
You're
to that,
correct.
please. So here's the thing: we're zooming out and zooming in. We're focusing in on language, and I'm not saying it's not valid. I'm saying that from a macro, from a large view, from a backup view, that there's a lot of different things that need to happen. But I will say, as an educator and working with Pookies and Ray Rays when they were 12 and 13, just at that point where they're starting to get into some bad shit, that if you have them in school, if they're in school, you got them in school, you can actually influence them one way or the other.
But
that's at a young age.
You're not with them when they go home,
Hey,
sir. When they go
Theo. When that man interrupt you, you told him to please wait, let him finish. So
all
let
right,
that brother talk.
I'm gonna let him talk. My apologies.
I'm sure we can all agree that we have a mentality. We have been, assimilated, and our culture has been appropriated, influenced by being in proximity to these white folks, and that we know that the answer, a major part of the answer, is having to do with re-educating ourselves. You could say re-indoctrinating ourselves. So that's controlling our education. Everybody knows that we need to control our education. But if you're talking about the answers or the solutions to our problem on a large level, it has to have education. It has to have economics. It has to have culture. All of these things are part of the things that we have to work on as a people. We've got to be working on all these different fronts at one time. It can't just be we're only going to do this and we're only going to do that, because some Pookies and Ray Rays can be saved. And I'll land right there.
I mean, yes, some of them, when some of them go to prison, but the mindset is hard, because they don't want to be like you. You're educated lame. They want to be like, the big guy in the hood, the gunslinger, the nigga that got all the girls, all the money. It's hard to win them over, So the best thing to do is separate that kid from that environment from age 1 or age 5,
I think that you and me, and I think that's Brandon, we could all be that big guy in the hood if we're visible, if we make a point to be in these kids' proximities and influencing them, getting them involved, showing them that we love them, that we care about them. That's how we influence them. If you're not there, if I'm not there, then there's none of that transfer of showing that you care about them. That's what's missing.
Hold on for a second, Theo. Hold on. We got Diego Mate up there chilling in the cut. He just been quiet for about 10 minutes. Go ahead, Diego Mate.
Well, I like what you guys are saying, but I have something to say that a lot of people will not like. A lot of people will not like. I believe that we, as Black people, African people, the majority, will always remain where we are, because unfortunately, we cannot understand an intellectual trap. You see, every other race can place traps in front of us as long as they're intellectual traps that require thinking and dissecting the philosophy behind the trap. We'll not understand it. You see, this is the truth. Now,
what are the traps? What are the intellectual traps?
Feminism is one intellectual trap. You see,
true.
That the blacks fell for it, and till date they can't.
Black women fell for it.
Yeah,
Black
but it's
women.
still blacks.
Hey, but hold on, Diego, mate, just 1 second. But Theo, even though black women are the majority, the black women run the Black community right now. Black women are the ones that's propped up by the Democratic Party. So they got a political.
That's why we need to separate. Let them stay here with White Zaddy. Let them stay with White Zaddy. They want to.
I got you, but what I'm just helping Diego point is that's why it's a trick, because you would not go any further than your woman can go. But anyway, go ahead, Diego, continue, man.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's an intellectual trap. Even Christianity, to a certain extent, is an intellectual trap. Where I'm from, you got most of these Africans don't study the history. You talk to them about the fundamentals of the creation of the religion, they get angry at you. You see, so in my belief, I think as Africans, Black people will never, as a majority, will never move forward because as we cannot dissect a trap. You see, when you have this issue, it's very hard for you to progress because any other race of people can just come and set theories that you will fall for it. My philosophy is backed by historical observation, not theories that you cannot apply to your context. You see, you got Africans here where I'm from that studied the same theories about the Industrial Revolution by Henry Ford and every other people is the same things I'm studying today. You see, but none of that is moving forward because our theories that you cannot actually implement where you're at the moment. You see, now there's another issue too. We don't see money as a means for war. You see, you need to understand when your economy grows, it reaches a certain point that you gotta allocate certain money for war to protect your resources. You see, and we don't see it this way. This is why we give money to anybody that eventually set policies that go against our interests because they gotta set their money for war, which goes against you. So it's a lot of things that the majority of Black people will not understand. And even if they understand, it will be too late. This is just my belief. Even in Africa, people think Africa poses a solution. I don't think so. But I think you can get more peace as a Black person in Africa.
Diogo, I have to say, when I was a kid, there was a cartoon, and the guy would always, one of the kids or guys would say, "We'll never make it." That person right there would be almost put in the same group with the Pookies and the Ray Rays. If you think we'll never make it, that means you don't know your history. And I will say that there'll be some of us that don't think we can make it. There'll be some of us that don't think we have the intellectual capacity or the spiritual capacity to liberate ourselves and to be in a place where we are good. So you may be part of that group, and that's okay. All I would say to you is that whatever history that you have read about us, I don't think you understood it. And I'll land there.
All right, let me address that real quick. I'm gonna address 2 points real quick. I'm gonna address what Shaw said, and I'm gonna address what Diego said. Now, Shaw, saying one thing that you said earlier about, if brothers go in the hood, go in there and try to talk to the kids, that ain't happening. That ain't even realistic on its face. You get what I'm saying? The only way that you can get some type of Black kids to show up, you're gonna have to have a building, some type of organization, boys, girls club or whatever. Because I stay right here in Atlanta, and I'm telling you, you ain't walking in my hood talking like you in my hood without getting shot or robbed. That ain't happening. It don't matter if you coming over there with the best intentions in the world. You know what I'm saying? They probably let you come over there the first time, and you're gonna be set up the next time. And we all know that. You get what I'm saying? So, the only good thing I give the hood credit for is that, they if you don't speak they linguity, you get what I'm saying, you're not accepted. You know what I'm saying? It's just how they get down, and that's how they move. You come over there talking different than how they talk, you're gonna be a target. You come over there dressed a certain type of way, then like that you're gonna be a target. So that's that old thing saying, like they were saying, well, the Black man got the lead. You get what I'm saying? It sounds good to say that, you know what I'm saying? And I know what the Bible said and everything. But you know what I'm saying? One thing about the Holy Bible, it ain't got nothing to do with how the political system handles its business. And the political systems chooses who they want to be in charge, especially for a group of people that has no political power. So hold on for a second. Nobody interrupted you, my brother. So what I'm saying is that when you have a group of people that has no political party, has no political funds, we're not grooming no politicians. We have no think tanks. That means that the politicians, that the party that we support at 98%, which is Democrat Party, they choose who's going to be in charge over the community. Now you got women, which has no problem with that because they're put on the pedestal. I have no problem with that at all. You get what I'm saying? But you have a lot of men that don't like that. So right there in front of it lies the genesis of the gender wars. You get what I'm saying? It's that when they put black women on a pedestal, black men didn't like that at all. Me personally, I didn't care. You get what I'm saying? But I know when I talk to most black men, you know what I'm saying? Maybe if they don't get them off this net where you catch them one-on-one, they don't agree with that at all. You get what I'm saying? But
Okay,
at
that's
the
the first
same
point.
time,
That's the second
hold
point.
on, bro. You had a chance to talk longer or shorter. You chose to talk shorter. So what I'm saying is that black men ain't doing anything to compete. So black women, and I saw a lot of y'all quotes in the chat, y'all saying that why I gotta talk about black women. So here I go, black women talking good for you. Black men black women are out competing black men. You get what I'm saying? Black women sticking together on their accomplishment. Black women are supporting each other business. I don't care if their business is lingerie. I don't care if it's goddamn some sex toys. I don't care if it's weave or lipstick, cosmetic, the workout gear. Black women are supporting each other. Black men are not. Black men are arguing with each other, killing each other, you know what I'm saying, robbing each other and plotting on each other. That's what we're doing. So, you know, that's why I don't fight against where the Democrat has put them on a pedestal. So there you go, black women. I do not just talk bad about y'all all the time. And Diego Mate, what he's saying is that what I'm saying is that a lot of people, they just going with the odds. Of course, he don't know for a fact. You know what I'm saying? It's the same way with me, Hustle Smart. I'm the doom and gloom guy. I say it's over with for black people. But don't get me wrong, it's still a 1.123% that we don't make it. Now, if things start turning around, I'll stop saying the doom and gloom. But as long as our numbers are going down, keep going down, individual success stories, and believe me, bro, if you knew my story, I am one of the success stories. You know what I'm saying? But it's still, my success story doesn't do anything for black people. You know what I'm saying? So you know, that's both of y'all points, and both of y'all can be right at the same time. You get what I'm saying? So go ahead, Sha. I throw it back to you.
So true, you got a point. But I would say that going into your community, I could go into I can go in any community, any black community in the United States, I could go into. I come from a community that was in the early 90s the nation's murder capital per capita. We only have 30,000 people, but East Palo Alto was the nation's murder capital because we had 40 deaths in 1 year, all, you know, kind of related to the young guys selling drugs on the corners, certain corners. So it's like it has all the elements of most black communities. You know, it has all those elements. But I'm saying that from my experience, in my experience is not more so with me as an individual, but more so with me active in the founding of the city. We were just an unincorporated area. We became a city in 1986. I participated with independent black schools. I worked in the public schools. So this is more coming from the point of not so much my individual life and how I progressed in my success, but working in the community, working in a situation that had a lot of crime and death and drugs. So yeah, I mean, I won't go. If I go into your community, I'm going to either the school, an Afrocentric school, or a public school, or the YMCA, or I live in the area in your community or somewhere near, and I see some kids on a corner, and I, you know, start talking to those kids' parents and those kids, and ask them if they want to be part of a little thing that I'm doing. I'm teaching dance and music and teaching about melanin and all the shit that I learned in college. I'm teaching that to these kids, and that's what I was doing. And I'm saying that we can do that. It just depends on your mindset. It depends on your background. You know, if you don't come from that type of background, that's not going to be your mindset.
Hey, Sha, I like your optimism, bro. And I think that's the way we ought to think. I think we should be optimists, especially when it comes to the future of our race. But back to talking about the slavery and like the situation that we're in. The media, the media is such a driving force in forming the minds of our people. And you know what? When I think about the first document or the first thing that the European race ever wrote down was an epic poem by the name of the Iliad. I'm pretty sure you guys have heard of it before. The Iliad. That's just the Greek word for Troy, right? And so if you hadn't read the poem, I'm pretty sure that you've kind of like seen the movie or whatever. But that story is so telling about how effective or the way that a family can be completely destroyed when it's invaded by other people, right? Because the Greeks end up defeating the Trojans by tricking them. They tricked them based off their religious superstition, right? If you read that story, the Trojans were fearers of the god Apollo, right? And they just loved the god Apollo. They were like a very pious race, right? And the Greeks were complete opposite, and they tricked them by obviously holding this big wooden horse that was stuffed full of Greeks and the Trojans, thinking there was a gift from Apollo, led it into the gates, right?
Your history Wi-Fi is fucking up, but like, check it out. Let's get back. We're gonna get back to the lesson at hand. Now,
well, let me finish, brother. Let me finish because we didn't interrupt you, like you always say, right?
Bro,
you know what I'm saying?
Bro, listen, you want to talk? Hold on for a second. You weren't talking for like 30 seconds.
My bad. My connection went bad.
Oh, that's why you got to learn all that knowledge and all those words. You got to be able to listen to comprehend. You know what I'm saying? Not listen to respond. You know, you was talking about words. So as I said, when I said your Wi-Fi was messing up, that just overshot your head. You was completely blank for 30 seconds.
Okay, my bad. It might have been because my Wi-Fi went out. Can you guys hear me now?
We definitely.
Okay. So I was just talking about the media. I was talking about how the media is so influential in forming the minds of our children. It's pretty much with the media, we pretty much just let a bunch of strangers in our house. Like right now, if I ask somebody how many people stay in their house, they'll say 2 or 3 people. But no, as long as there's a television in your house, it's more than 2 or 3 people living in your house, right? And not just living in your house. Now it's more than 2 or 3 people walking around with you, as long as you got a phone in your pocket, right? So we constantly got people manipulating our minds through these 3 main conduits, which are television, radios, and computers via phones or laptops, whatever kind of form of computer you got, but just say it's a phone. And see, before then, we never had these mediums in our homes. Like before the television came to our homes, like in the 1940s, up before then, you know, if we wanted to watch TV, I guess the family would go to the theater or something. Television was in theaters, right? And if we wanted to hear the radio, I guess we'd go to a concert or something like that before the radios came into our home. And if we wanted to reference or get some information, we'd go to the library, right, before the computers came into our home, right? And so once all these different distractions invaded our homes,
oh man, that's that invading internet, man. You got to go out and come back in, bro. You got to go out and come back in, man. Now listen, this is the thing that when Sha, you said that when you'll go in certain neighborhoods and talk to people, kids, and talk to people, parents. Now I agree with that because that's the same thing that I said. It would have to be some type of way that you got some type of organization, some type of building, whatever. When I was speaking on just going in there talking. And believe me, you know what I'm saying? If you catch somebody parent and you offering the kids something, especially if you finna babysit their kids for 3-4 hours, they right there with that. But it got to, this is what I was saying earlier about black people being so selfish. It would have to benefit the parent in some type of way, to the point where, like I said, you babysitting and feeding their kids for 3-4 hours. You get what I'm saying? But if you just standing there on the block, you know what I'm saying, like how the Hebrew Israelites try to do, you know what I'm saying, trying to talk to people, then people would just walk right past you. But you know what I'm saying, you get them somewhere air conditioned, you know what I'm saying, you got Little Caesars pizza coming up in there, you know what I'm saying, you got snacks and shit, you know what I'm saying, for them to do. Yeah, because black people in the hood would just look at that as some babysitter shit unless it's a program that's funded and it can constantly keep coming. One thing that I learned about living in the project, y'all, is that it was like a different program every 2 or 3 weeks. Nothing lasted for more than 3 or 4 days. You get what I'm saying? So therefore, even with the black people in the community, you know what I'm saying, we even we talking amongst each other, we never could get behind anything. And I'm not saying that your message would be bad, Sha. What I'm saying is that it was nobody that was constantly coming over there preaching the same message. So you got one message after this message, after this message, this narrative after this narrative, to the point the kids just be like, man, we just gonna go up there and just get something to eat, and then we out of there. We're not really paying no attention because in the hood, you know, it's easy. It got so much distraction over there. You know, kids that are raised up in the middle class and upper class, you know what I'm saying? They don't see, unless they want to see it, but they don't see prostitutes in the neighborhood. They don't see crackheads strung out, laid out in the road. They're not stepping over crack bags and dumped out blank tobacco. You get what I'm saying? They don't see bottles and glass and, you know what I'm saying, shoes hanging from power lines and bullet holes. They don't see that. You get what I'm saying? So, you know, you have to want to see that if you're from the area. But these kids right here is going through this at all times, to the point that if you go in a major hood and see kids, when they go to shoot, kids don't duck. Kids, you know, they look around seeing what's going on. You know what I'm saying? They ride, they bike, pop. It could be a full-fledged shootout in the hood. And once the police come and leave, the kids back out there playing like nothing ain't happened. You know, and one thing that I compared it to, I noticed that when I watched these kids over there in Afghanistan and the places like that have bombing, you know, terrorists and all that action, you know, it's just not that the kids don't care, but it's normal to them. You know what I'm saying? It's normal for them to be playing, you know, going through rubble, looking for scavenging through things. So it's normal for the kids to do it. And like you said, they want to learn, but it's nobody that has a consistent presence in the hood. And you got all these black people every year in the NFL, NBA, Major League Baseball, they are producing at least 40 to 50 millionaires overnight. You get what I'm saying? And that we're not talking about the ones that's already in the league. You know what I'm saying? So we have so many black millionaires, but the point of it is that in our society, which one is more important? Buying a $75,000 chain, going in the club, spending $10,000, or renting out a rec room and getting a speech and buying the kids pizza every weekend so they can do something constructive. You know, the way some of our elite people feel, we feel like they feel like if the government is giving them food stamps, if the government is giving them Section 8, then the government should keep taking care of them. That's the way some of our elites do. So it's you know, almost this last point. So unless it's some type of funding that can last over time, then that ideal would only last for the time that you're there. It won't be a lasting effect with all the distractions going on. Go ahead, Sha.
So are we going to identify the problem, talk about the problem, or are we going to be solution based?
It's no solutions.
Well,
there's no solutions. Hold on. And I'm interjecting. I'm not gonna take over. What I'm saying is, bro, the thing about it is that even talking about solutions is a deflection, because every black person know what is the solution to for us not killing each other. Just stop shooting each other. You get what I'm saying? Like the solution is in the statement. When we talk about all the stuff that we do, the solution is in that statement. All we have to do is change our action. That's the solution. Now I'm a little condescending when I say there's no solution. I say it's no solution because it's no solution. It's not another solution that we can put on the books that black people already know. It's the same way with the gun laws. You get what I'm saying? You can bring up 30 more gun laws. It's not going to change illegal gun ownership. But go ahead, my brother.
Okay, my mic was on. So yeah, but I mean, this is a basic in that you have a problem. You know what the problem is, and you can solve the problem if you do the right thing. What I'm saying is from a more of a, this is the part where we have to either step up as a people or just lay down and just get run the fuck over and give up. Because if you are let's say you even a parent, if you're a parent and your kids have problems and these are problems they either came to the world with, this is part of their makeup, or they learned it because they got it from their environment, between you and the wife and the husband fighting, whatever, is something learned or something they came to the world with. Whatever it is, as a parent, you're going to try to create an environment or do things in psychology to, you're going to use whatever you can use to try to make the correction to bring that kid into good health, good balance, and a good whole view. You're going to do that if you're a parent. If you're a community, you're going to do that too. If you're a community, and I'm saying we have to step up and be accountable. Are we going to be a community? Are we going to work toward the solution? Even though we know this, the answer is simple, is just stop shooting. That's the solution. But if we're not doing that, that means as a collective, as a group. See, I think we get confused with individuals and doing things as individuals and as a group and approaching it fundamentally as a group and a collective. And if you approach it from that way, your approach is going to be different than the success in my life and then what that shows a young person or what I can do as an individual. You're going to work together in a group and you're going to try to solve things in a collective way. And that's what I'm saying. There's a difference between that. Some of us are not going to make that cut. There's going to be people who are doing that and they're going to make decisions that's going to affect you and the other person. And then you're going to come to the table and say, look, I'm not abiding by these rules and shit that you set in the community. I'm responsible. I don't even need that. So now you're going to be drawn into that and you're going to be probably brought into the group. And if you're not brought into the group because you have that mind and that responsibility level as an individual, we really don't have to worry about you, though, if you already doing all the shit that you need to be doing. But more than likely, you're going to be brought into the group and you're going to be, get in where you fit in that group. And this is what I'm saying that we have to do as a people. All these conversations about language are important and spirituality is important. Those are all part of the bigger picture. But we've got to look at the macro and we got to look at the micro. And I
get what you're saying. I get exactly what you're saying. Ground based. But
hey, can I say
something? I'm saying is, if you listen, we're gonna go to you next, Skywalker. What I'm saying to you is that, my brother, is that I don't know if you listen to this program a lot, but every single day is somebody got some type of plan. Now, the thing about it is, if you listen to this program, if you listen to Dinah's channel and you listen to it every day, you'll have 2 or 3 people that got different plans. So what does that tell you? That means that you got so many black people, in a year time, if Dinah's do shows at least once a day, let's just say if he do a show every 3 shows a week. So within 3 shows a week, you got at least 3 people coming up here with a plan for black people. So let's just do the math. So that's 9 different plans a week, 52 weeks in a year. You right? So that's over 468 different plans. You get what I'm saying? We got enough plans. We all know what when you look at it with logic, my brother, if you got all these different plans, that means that nothing ain't started. So I'm not gonna say nothing bad about the plans because all the plans sound good. But when you have all these people with all these different plans talking about all these different groups, that ain't even started yet, what does that tell people? What does that tell any other race? That black people ain't even at the starting line to changing. You know what I'm saying? Damn a 180. You know what I'm saying? We ain't even at a 90 degree. We ain't even started changing at a 90 degree angle yet. You know what I'm saying? So therefore, we haven't even laced up our shoes. We ain't even stretched to get to the line yet. because we have so many plans, but the problem with a plan is that nobody is implementing. One thing, nobody's implementing, and nobody is joining those plans, joining those plans and organizations. So the organization that are getting tractions are the organizations is about either xenophobia or talking about separating, or you got the black people talking about, you know what I'm saying, that they Chevy Navajos and Jeep Cherokees. You know what I'm saying? Those are the platforms that getting the most push right now. You know what I'm saying? That nothing about black people changing as a whole. You know what I'm saying? Is we want white people to give us some money. You know what I'm saying? And that we, you know what I'm saying, that we from here, you know what I'm saying? So I like your plan. We had another brother came on, he brought he had a I think his name US lawyer. He had like a 22-step plan with a pledge and everything. But when the base question is, who's gonna be in charge? Who's leading it?
No, that's a
You know what I'm saying? Because you got to have consequences
Can I
and
make a quick
repercussions.
interjection? Let me make a
And
quick
we don't
interjection.
have I'm gonna give it to you, and I'm gonna let go. We don't have no type of system. So what I'm saying is that if your system is in play, you got 400 other systems that is gonna contradict it. You know what I'm saying? We just don't have. We need one playbook, and that, I just don't think that that's gonna happen. But go ahead.
It's not going to be one playbook. And here's the thing.
And then Shah, what we'll do after your comment, we'll pass it back to Sim Police Academy. Then we're going to close out. Go ahead.
Okay. There's not going to be one simple playbook. And I think that if you had the spirit, I don't know what the mindset or the energy, the desire, I don't know, there are organizations in Atlanta that are doing good work. I know there are. I don't even know them. And I know there are. Just like East Palo Alto. I left East Palo Alto. It's still a city. I was working at a Shule Mandela Academy. That no longer exists, but there's other schools that are going on that are doing good work there. And there are other organizations in Oakland and Bay Area, all over the country. There's people in the community that are doing good work, and you could join those groups or whatever groups that are there, because there are some that are doing good work. But we're not going to do that because we're sitting here talking. A lot of us just talk about all the shit that we're doing or not doing, mostly about what we're not doing and how it's not going to work and how we can't do this and we can't do that. And that's what we talk about. We're not involved in the shit that's going on. So I'm saying get involved in something that is viable. It may not be perfect like you want it to be. It may not be perfect, but you could bring what could make it better. And I'll land right there.
All right, man. You know what I'm saying? I guess I'm going to close this thing out. I mean, like I say, that all sounds good. I mean, I'm born and raised in Atlanta. It ain't no organization right here ain't doing nothing but passing out food and giving the most major organization in Atlanta. All they do is go around, put it on internet where they feed homeless and give them toiletries. There's no other organization in Atlanta that's doing nothing, that's going through each zone trying to pull it's no organization in Atlanta at all. You get what I'm saying? So they have feel good stories, you know what I'm saying, where they'll help out an individual that might make the news or might make the newspaper, but there's no organization like that with no type of backbone. It's just like going to a church that got 100 members and that 100 members never change. You know what I'm saying? They might do a little good, but it's only 100 members. If it does not grow, then you cannot use no authority. And the way that America works, America only recognizes majority. That's why they choosing the Latinos, because Latinos have a large amount of people and they work together. Even though black people are 43 million strong, respectfully, you know what I'm saying, we split up in all type of subgroups and all this, and you know, we so split up. It's like the black race is a splinter cell. That's why it's no community. You know what I'm saying? Most of the time when black people talk about community, they talking about their front yard and their backyard and whatever route they take to the motherfucking mailbox. That's it. You get what I'm saying? So, and another thing, you know what I'm saying? We was talking about, you know, a lot of people's thinking like, you know, okay, you know, Hustle Smart hates women. I don't hate women at all. You get what I'm saying? The problem is with most of y'all wig, weed wearing wild hyena hood rats is that when we talk shit about Pookies and Ray Rays, it never comes out y'all mouth that we always got black men name in the mouth. But soon as you say one word about black women, then that's when y'all husky hyenas get upset. And that's why people don't take y'all serious. That's why most men disregard you, because y'all are hypocrites. You know what I'm saying? If you're not gonna stand up for when we talking about the Pookas and Ray Rays and the degenerates, then you know what I'm saying, I'm not gonna pay no attention to you. You know what I'm saying? When y'all talking about why black women, because it seems to me that black women, the only thing that y'all care, that only thing that y'all promote is y'all self, because y'all really are separated from, y'all really feel like y'all separate from black men. And that's the Democrat Party doing that, boosting y'all head up like that. So which I say again, I have no problem, because black men got to get out of that self-hate and stop attacking each other and stop killing each other. And we always talking about the youth when it came to this original topic about the subway place. That wasn't young people. You know what I'm saying? That guy that killed them girls and that was 36 years old. Both of them females in there was mothers. You know what I'm saying? And they got a kid in there. So just think about the behavior, the behavior of this baby mama terrorist working up in Subway, you know what I'm saying, for the minimum of wages, want to argue, fuss, and fight with a man that's older than him. That just shows you the respect of the black man and the black woman, because I'm telling you the truth. If I ever was to work, it ain't gonna never happen, but if I did work at Subway and if a woman came in there arguing or whatever, I would just be like, okay, I'll just make you another sandwich. I wouldn't sit up there and try to die on no hill about, okay, damn the Subway now, it's about the principle. I wouldn't even think like that. You get what I'm saying? Because you're gonna have to deal with multiple customers with bad attitudes all day long. You get what I'm saying? If you can't deal with somebody with a bad attitude, you need to work a job by yourself. Because if you're dealing in a customer, especially face-to-face customer business, you're gonna deal with rude, obnoxious customers. It's gonna be customers that gonna come in there, gonna talk shit to you just because your bum ass working up in Subway. You know what I'm saying? And you got your child in the back snacking on goddamn guacamole. You know what I'm saying? Drinking goddamn apple juice boxes. That's the part that looks bad. So the disrespect is all over. But the problem could have been easily rectified. You know what I'm saying? You're not gonna tell me if that they would have said, hey, okay, you mad about this sub? We'll trash that. Let me make you another sub. It is nowhere in that world that guy would have shot them then. You know what I'm saying? He's wrong, because he's going to prison for the rest of his life by some dumb shit about being disrespectful. And they lost their life for thinking that they were being disrespectful. So what I'm saying is nobody wins in this. You know what I'm saying? One man go to jail for the rest of his life. One person dies, you know what I'm saying? A child is left with whoever. Hopefully the child got a family member that's gonna raise them up right. And another female got the trauma of just having an argument with a black man. She ended up shot. She saw somebody die. You know what I'm saying? So that's 3 people gone, and hopefully I'm not gonna put the child in that, but I'm just gonna say it's 3 people gone. That's what happened in our community when we do stuff that's a detriment to the community. We lose 4 or 5 good black people. We lose the black person that do the killing. We lose the black people that got killed. You know what I'm saying? Now, you know, black people just have a idea of how they see black people. I'm telling y'all right now, when I go to certain places, I see 3, 4 black dudes standing outside. I don't pull up in there. I'm not taking the chance. I'm not taking the chance that something will happen. It's over 6,000 gas stations in Atlanta. The same way it's over 200 or 300 subways in Atlanta. That guy could have went to another subway the same way these women could have just not argued with him. You know what I'm saying? Especially about a job that they only been working at 3 weeks. 3 weeks. So, you know, that's that thing with the gender wars where a woman feel like a man can't say nothing to him. And since the woman is placed on a pedestal, men are just be like, well, you ain't gonna disrespect me because at the end of the day, I'm bigger, stronger than you. And if the only way I can shut you up is to kill you, then that's what I'm gonna do. But think about the hood booger, dumb nigga, sucker ass, fuck ass, hoe ass, rational thinking that is as a people. And that's why we are doomed. You better get you some type of plan. You better stop waiting for Friday and Saturday to spend your money. You better find you a Roth IRA or some type of savings account so you can start saving your money and go see something other than the 40 miles from the city that we're in. And the last point, you know what I'm saying, is that we need to get out of the major city. We need to stop stepping on each other. When I drive my truck all over the United States, I see these white people, you know what I'm saying, their houses is 2 or 3 acres from the road. You know what I'm saying? Their next door neighbor is 100, 200 feet away. You know what I'm saying? They have room to graze. You know what I'm saying? They can walk outside butt naked and the next door neighbor is not in their business. It's almost like we like stepping on each other. We like being in close proximity to each other, but we don't like each other at the same time. That's a recipe for a fuck nigga brownie. You know what I'm saying? And if we will not win like that, we all got to get out the city. And if we want to change the thing about the Senate, you know, so we got to get on the outskirts. It's okay to be in the major city and have a Democrat mayor, but if you're not going to make your state, if you're not going to make your state a black person, you know what I'm saying, you got to get on the outskirts. If you want your senators to be black, you got to get on the outskirts because they count more districts out there. And we all know that black people only show up for the star elections. You know what I'm saying? We don't go for the county commissioners. We don't go for the sheriff. We don't go the same judges y'all claim that sending your black boys and black girls to prison. You can vote them in. That same district attorney that ain't answering your phone call, you could have voted him in, but you don't show up for that. PTA meetings, we don't show up for that. And then we can go. My daughter went to an all black, a majority black high school, and at the PTA meeting, it was me and another black lady there, and the rest of the people was white, but 90% of the kids they're black. So the white people was making the rules when it was time to vote because it was nobody there to represent us. So we could talk loud. Of course, y'all know I can talk loud, but it's nothing I can do when a vote is coming. There's only 2 black people. So we cannot complain if we're not showing up with groups. We're not showing up with strength. Strength is in number. That's one thing I get a Nation of Islam credit for. That's it. The strength is in numbers. And we have to use our strength to better ourselves. And if we're not going to do that, then you need to come up with an individual plan and find your outcome. Because if all the lights was to get cut off, if all the water get to cut off, we're going to be looking for the same white people that we claim that's white supremacy to feed us and clothe us and give us fresh water. Them white people go out there in the woods every weekend, sit up there and hunt. They teach their kids how to skin deers. They got doomsday bunkers. They're buying food that lasts 6 or 7 months they can put up. You know what I'm saying? All the food and water you got, black people, that's in your refrigerator. And if the lights go, what you think what's gonna happen to Walmart? That food is gonna go too. We got to know how to our self-preservation just is not there. And we got to do a better job with that, man. I appreciate everybody that was on the panel. I appreciate everybody in the chat. You know what I'm saying? I know y'all love Hustle Smart. If y'all want to find me, y'all can find me at Simp Police Academy. You would definitely be welcome over there. And then y'all come over there, even y'all women, y'all will see I'm a really nice guy. But I don't give black women no passes the same way I don't give black men no passes. You know what I'm saying? And on that note, I pass it back to Dynast.
Yes, sir. Hey, everyone, thank you so much for joining. Like, share, subscribe. But till next time, family, Dynast Amir, search for Huru. Peace.
We gone.